Hey!
Hey, alive.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the R.A.T Group, episode 7, wrapping up phase 3. It's been a long time since we've done this. It's been like almost, 5 years?
It feels like I feel like it's probably been longer than 5 years.
You know what, though? I say 5 years just sporadically, but it's actually, I just made a freaking, a joke that fits in the show. 5 years. I didn't even mean to do that. It just came out naturally. But anyway, we're finally wrapping up the MCU's phase 3, Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, two movies.
Right.
They're still in play in theaters.
Yep.
But everybody's seen them. So yeah, this is gonna be spoilers from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Who wants to go first on this one?
Whoever.
Avengers Endgame. We're gonna talk about, of course, the Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
I think it would be interesting, just off the bat, if we all before we each go into the details, we should just all say how we felt about the movie, like in one word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a few words, but who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good movie with some problems.
Okay.
I'll go. Weakest of the Russo brothers.
Ooh,
Damn. I was gonna say.
that was good wording right there.
Yeah. Okay, Thomas, you wanna go next?
I think it was a really good movie, but there are a couple things here and there that were kind of
Entertaining movie, but the flaws were bothered me more than I could ever imagine. I'll say that.
All right.
So Rob stole my line. I was gonna say weakest Russo brothers.
Sorry, I'll come up with another one.
I think-
Garbage.
That was a good one though.
I think we're gonna all have very similar agreements here on stuff. I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we should just break it down into what we didn't like, or liked, or
Yeah,
we
you want
can.
to go on the negatives first?
I say go. Let's do the negatives first.
Yeah. Oh, and before we get to that, I'm sorry. Before we get to the negatives, yes, it's been a long time since we've done this, so I forgot to fucking introduce everybody. Yes, that's Dan and Rob, aka Rocky Roboa 101 and Movie Review Time. Check out their channels. Thomas, aka Horror Fan 34, the biggest Movie 43 fan of all time.
Okay.
And of course, everybody knows me, Alex 2.0, the opinionated jerk.
No, you're the biggest movie 43 fan.
That's the first I've heard that, you jerk.
Yeah.
No, in reality, Alex is the biggest movie 43 fan.
What's worse, 50 Shades of Grey or movie 43?
I'll go with 50 Shades of Grey.
I stick with movie 43.
Oh, damn.
I had
Damn.
this one, but I kind of want to see it. But man, like I can't believe how bad people say that movie is. But I know that's off topic.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, negatives of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, so let's delve into it.
I just the one that sticks for me.
Mm-hmm.
This, I guess people might consider this a nitpick, but the way the Russos handled Captain Marvel was really disappointing. Really, in my opinion, because she's barely in the movie, and it would have been better if not only that she would be in the movie more, but have her start a relationship with the surviving Avengers.
Well, that's the thing with me. I really thought
They never become friends.
I really thought she was going to have a bigger role in Endgame, but I was really surprised how much little screen time she actually did have.
I have to disagree. I actually thought she was fine. I mean, I honestly, all the scenes she had in the movie, I thought was dealt with better than the whole movie of Captain Marvel.
Really?
I mean, I thought she was there enough, and that was their point, was that they didn't want her to overshadow the Avengers. They wanted the original Avengers, so that's why they didn't have her in there that much. And she is super powerful, and they didn't want her to overpower. It seemed like she overpowered the Avengers. I thought they used her kind of like a Superman, like, you know, she came in and kind of saved people. But I don't know. I thought if she was there like most of the movie, I thought maybe she would have taken away from the others. I don't know. That's just how I felt.
Because they just had her movie just 2 months before.
Right. Yeah, I get that. But she shot, of course, that stuff in Endgame before she did the movie. So, I mean, I don't know.
Being not real familiar with Captain Marvel, and I'm in agreement with Rob. Again, with as little screen time as she had, I did like the way the Russos did portray her in that movie. But again, as far as like powers and attitude go, I don't know a whole lot about how she's supposed to be portrayed. So as far as in Avengers Endgame, I was totally fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, would I have liked to see her more in it? Of course. Yeah, I would have. But
because I mean, her losing Nick Fury, which kind of her father figure. I mean, she's in the movie when they try to look for Thanos in the beginning. She's part of that mission, but it's quick and it's done, and it's like, what happens later? I mean, she doesn't appear again at the final battle.
Well, the reason too is because she's the only one that can go to other systems and help, and that fact that Thanos is dead, the threat is pretty much over. So it's like she went to go deal with other things. But I mean, I get that part, but I mean, they would have to change the story. If they wouldn't have killed Thanos, then I can see her maybe sticking around. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said this might be a nitpick.
Well, that's the thing with me is like, you know, I totally get where Alex is coming from, because I understand, because, you know, Captain Marvel, you know, just had her movie, and you probably thought maybe she would have had much more of a bigger role in Endgame. But when I said I was surprised how much little screen time that she had. I'm not like saying that like I'm not saying like I feel like she needs to have more screen time, because I kind of go with what Rob and Dan said. I think, you know, she went the parts that she was in the movie, you know, I thought they were good the way they were. I think she did come in at some critical points in the movie, like at the end fight, you know, in the beginning and things like that. So I thought, like, you know, the little parts that she had, I thought like the parts that she was in, they were key parts of the movie. And I think, you know, they were fine the way they were, because, you know, considering she just did have a solo film, you know, but, you know, and I can see why they would want to go with more of the original Avengers. And, you know, and I'm fine with that, because I like the way they did with Hawkeye, among others. We'll get to that later. But I do agree. I think the way Captain Marvel was portrayed in Endgame, even though it was little screen time as she had, I thought it was perfectly fine the way it was.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think they portrayed her badly in the movie. I just thought that I mean, they could have screen time. That's the thing. I mean, they could have found a way to have her in the mission, in the main mission, somehow, some way. But it's kind of, because this is like, I guess you could say this is the last Avengers movie, at least for a long time. I don't know what the future holds. But okay. But another issue. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this one.
Hold on a second, Alex. This issue, I think, kind of connects to what you're saying. If you wouldn't mind me stepping in. Go ahead. Okay. So, personally, I don't think that's a nitpick. I think that's a legitimate reason that you had. But the reason being that I agree with it not being a nitpick is because, again, Rob had pointed out that it was supposed to be kind of like the original Avengers movies. But to me, it was disappointing. And I agree that that's what it was supposed to be. But it was disappointing to me that the other characters that came in the third act had very small parts, and I feel like that part could have been handled a lot better.
But and that's also the result of Infinity War leading up to Endgame. The fact that they shot it back to back, they shot all these scenes in various times. It's like you have Infinity War, which is full of action, all these different characters getting their own screen time, and then Endgame focuses more on the originals, where those characters are dusted, they're gone. but then there's not enough time to appreciate the fact that they come back and stuff like that. There's not enough time to get invested with them again.
They come back really quickly, is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what, that is a very valid point. But I think the Russos could have handled it a lot better. And here's some examples that I would give. For one, the 4 children of Thanos. They came back at the end during the battle. I think they each should have had a little bit more focus, especially like Doctor Strange was just holding up a waterfall, and I get that's what they were giving him so he wouldn't get into the fight. But like I think him and what's the magician's name?
Ebony
Maw. Like I would have liked to see another kind of head-to-head with them. And then there were instances where they kept going from character to character to give them their own little thing. But they could have done that a lot better. And as an example, like Star-Lord had that whole scene where he met with Gamora, was all like, "Oh, like you're back." Remember, she knocks him down, and then Nebula.
Yeah.
Okay, that was handled. That group right there, that was handled well. They could have done that for a lot more of the characters, something small like that. Like
I agree. I
agree. Yeah.
I was gonna mention this later, but like for example, there's never a moment. I know it's a final battle and there's a lot going on, but there's never a moment where like Steve Rogers sees Bucky again, like, "Oh my God, you're alive." He doesn't react to that.
The problem is that the whole second act is that could have been cut way down. The whole time travel stuff, they focused way too much on, okay, Tony going back in time and meeting his dad. And they had to do that to develop the story, but I think they could have cut a lot of that out. So that leaves room for the third act. Stretch it out between the second and third act. So each character, when they come back early, then they can get their time in. They can get more time, more time to develop.
Yeah, a little like on the last hurrah time thing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like like when Tony going back to seeing his father, I think that could have easily been like a deleted scene on a Blu-ray or something like that.
Yeah, and they brought when Spider-Man has that small scene with Iron Man, when he first comes out of the portal.
That was good.
So they needed to do that. Like you brought this up when we saw the film. Like when Wasp comes back, it's like her and Paul Rudd don't even. She's just like, "Oh, yeah, here I am. Let's go." There wasn't any kind of dialogue. They could have easily.
Oh, with Rocket and Groot. I mean, there's a lot of
and you mentioned Bucky and Captain. I didn't even think about that. Like they could have totally done that because instead they just had like one of the characters. Okay, you're gonna do some actiony stuff right here. Which it's just like okay, like you can still have that, but also add these character moments that we want to see. And again, that was definitely a complaint that I had, and of course,
Yeah, I mean, but to defend the Russos on that part a little bit, I mean, what are the characters gonna do? They're like, "Hey, Thanos, stop the fight, time out. Let's have a little moment with their friends." It's like there's no time out.
But they did that. But they already did that. I mean, they did do exactly what you're saying with Star-Lord and Gamora. They're like just standing.
The battle was still going on.
They wanted a crowd reaction. That's what it was. They wanted Captain America to feel like he's down on his luck, and then all of a sudden, then they kind of show up, and then everyone's like, "Yeah."
It's a great moment in the movie.
They still could have done that in the second act. I swear to God, they could have done it in the second act. Make it stretch all the way to the third act. Give everyone their little bitty groups of time. If there's a war going on, fine. Let the war go in different places or something. Like this was Infinity War. That's why I think Infinity War worked, because there was different. Your Titan battle, Wakanda battle. You had all these things going on. Yeah. So,
My audience sucked when I saw it because the only part that cheered during the final battle was when Spider-Man showed up. Like, you fucking Spidey fan. To be fair, it was mostly kids in the theater. Like half of them were kids, and they're kids for Spider-Man.
We had a great audience. The audience was into it, man.
Can I talk about my major complaint?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's a major complaint. Okay, this is not a nitpick.
All right.
Professor Hulk, I hated him.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yep.
Professor Hulk was a bitch in this movie. Like, honestly,
God, yes.
There's a deleted scene, I guess, where it's supposed to show Banner fusing whatever together, turning into Professor Hulk. And we didn't get to see that. We just see him in the restaurant. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I combined two things together. Look, now I'm Professor Hulk." Wouldn't it have been better to have Hulk get one shot at Thanos after what Thanos did to him?
Yeah.
Here's Hulk. Here's Hulk. Oh, I'm smart now, and I also have Hulk's strengths, but he doesn't. There's nothing to him. If you went like this to Hulk and punched him and kept punching him, and he gets mad, he's not gonna get. He's not gonna have that rage because that's gone. That's gone now. He's Professor Hulk now. So I think Hulk got shit on, man. He didn't do nothing, but he did the snap. He brought people back, but then he got injured, which was another loophole. He got injured. His gamma radiation is supposed to. He's like Wolverine. He should be able to heal quick. Yeah. So I don't know why the Russo brothers did that. I know he's dealing with the Power Stone and the stones. I know he's dealing with that. That's a big thing, but still, he should still be able to. He's sitting there like this in a sling, like, oh, my arms hurt.
Yeah, the Russos said that he had. They even came out after the movie and said like it's permanent damage.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: we're never going to get Hulk. We're never going to get a true good Hulk. The true good Hulk was in the first Avengers, and then Age of Ultron. They did him pretty good, but we're never going to get nothing with him now. It's all ruined. It's all done because of how they did it.
Yeah. Well, they turned Hulk into
I'll let you guys go.
I'm done on my rant.
Okay, I wanted to say like that justifies my complaint on Infinity War. Remember how I was saying like I didn't like one of the few things I didn't like about the movie was Bruce Banner can't turn into a Hulk, and I said well, Endgame better have a payoff to that, and they didn't.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. They never explain. We'll never get an explanation.
Mm-hmm. And that's like that makes it my problem with Infinity War even worse now.
People wanted World Breaker Hulk. People wanted the Hulk that is so damn powerful that you cannot stop him, and that's what people wanted.
That's what the Hulk is.
Yeah. The matter he gets, Thanos would not even be able to stop him. There's no way.
And I don't even care if like, and this is what I don't like a lot in movies. Like when they have something in a movie that's left open for interpretation, that's fine. But when they say Hulk isn't coming out, we got stuff to work on, then the next movie they give no explanation. I don't care even outside of the movie if the Russos are like, oh, this is why. You have to explain in the film because otherwise we don't know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I felt like he got the short end of the stick. Like
and I don't even I don't know anything about Professor Hulk, honestly. I know nothing of him. Mm-hmm. But what I do know in this movie, he was pretty much just Bruce Banner.
That's all he is.
A big Bruce Banner.
That's all he is.
And even in the third act, we don't even see, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's one shot of him maybe running, and then that's it. We don't even see him like tearing any villain.
He's injured, and he says something about the van that Ant-Man is trying to get to, and he's just like this, and he doesn't do anything unless he's in the background, and you have to pause and just try to see if he's in there. I didn't see him do anything, so
no. I mean, I want to hear what Thomas. It sounds like you agree with what we said so far about Professor Hulk.
Yeah, I really do think that like they really did no justice to Hulk whatsoever. They really did not do any justice to the Hulk. I mean, they took away everything what the Hulk really was. Like the Hulk is like this guy who is big, powerful guy, smashes everything. And one thing, like like a comedy moment, like when they go back in time.
Yes.
And the first Avengers, and when he sees his old self smashing up cars, and he does like this.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly.
I'm like, really? This is what the Hulk has come down to? Is this nerd guy?
It's like he doesn't want to rage anymore. He picks up. He's like, raw. He's like trying to be funny. Like he doesn't want. He's lost that. It's gone.
Yeah, and all that would have been fun if the final battle he gets that rage again one last time and fights Thanos.
That would have been better.
Like that would be a payoff.
It would have been.
Yeah.
God.
Was anyone else a little disappointed that Thanos, the original Thanos, didn't? I mean, the Thanos that we get in the film never experienced anything from Infinity War. So
no.
that was always going through my mind when I was watching it. It's like, okay, like he knows he's just kind of guessing why these people are trying to, get the stones and take him out.
So you're talking about the Thanos from the past.
Right. Now, and what I mean is it's kind of a double-edged sword because I thought it was awesome that the Russos, like, he really did win. I mean, when they went to get original Thanos at the beginning of the movie, it was like, oh, I destroyed the stones. You guys lost. Then they kill him. Like, that's cool. But then, like, the rest of the movie, like, when you're seeing Thanos, he's just trying to, like, figure things out. He's like, what happened?
He figures them out pretty quick, too.
Yeah. It was just a little disappointing. I think it would have been cool to see original Thanos, like I said, like you're talking like the Hulk. If the Hulk went after Thanos in that movie, Thanos would just be like, okay, like, this is the first time I've ever seen you. Right. So it's kind of like that's what I mean as far as, like, because of where they went with the story, it was a little disappointing that we didn't get original Thanos at the end. But that's a nitpick, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't bother me that much, but I was shocked that they killed the original Thanos, like, in the beginning of the movie, like that. I was like, oh shit! And I thought the whole time I thought, like, wait, this is he's using the Reality Stone. This is fake, right? No, it wasn't. I was like, oh shit. When you get 5 years later.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
that's a ballsy move.
That didn't expect that, so that was cool.
But like one last thing about Professor Hulk, that's one character that the Russos did not handle well compared to all the characters they handled. Like, they really butchered
the handling character they did in the movie.
But speaking of butchering characters,
yeah, I know where you're going here.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Okay, it was a funny reveal, but at first, but then he was a joke throughout the whole movie, just like Hulk.
I think they let it go on too long. I think.
And considering how much of a badass he was in Thor Ragnarok, and this is what you do with
and Infinity War,
and like this is where you take Thor.
He was funny, but I mean, why not just let him be miserable like through the half of the film, and then he, gets his act together and maybe gets back into what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
being fat is just kind of ridiculous. Like, I can't take it seriously.
They try to make him look like at the end of the movie he was kind of resembling Odin. I think that's what I'm trying to go for.
I will say, like, I feel too. Like, the second time I saw the movie, that Thor didn't bother me as much as it did the first time. But still, if I had a choice, I'd rather them go the other route. But
I guess I'm in the minority here. I was okay. I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but I was actually okay with that. I kind of feel like there were times, even in the comedy, I felt like Chris Hemsworth, I really felt like did a good job. There were times when he would kind of go into like a pitiful version of himself, and I felt feel the strain that he feels like he let them all down, and that's why he let himself get in that predicament.
Yeah.
So I was actually okay with that, and I also think that one reason that worked for the movie was because he wasn't at, I don't want to say full strength, but like his fighting ability wasn't as good because of the overweightness. So I feel like that's how Thanos could put up a better, because I feel like Thor and him, I don't know, like power-wise, I feel like they could put up a pretty good fight, but I think because of Thor's shape and his mindset, I don't think he could have taken Thanos on. And I think that was good for that movie, so that Thanos was still really powerful.
I still would have liked Thanos and Thor in their prime. Like, I still would have liked Thor, like he was in Infinity War versus older Thanos, because I think that would have been an awesome battle.
Yeah, it would have been.
I mean, at first, at the beginning of the movie, they were going for like, oh, Thor is depressed because he failed. Like, he felt like he was the one closest to beat Thanos, and he was too late. He didn't go for the head. And even if you killed him, it was too late. The stones were destroyed. So then you get into the Fat Thor, and it's all comedy. I was like, really?
They brought a lot of the Ragnarok stuff to,
Did Taiki Waititi direct those fat scenes?
I think he was there on set. I know.
Yeah, that's all. He influenced them to make more comedy in Thor. Just make Thor into a joke. Yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me as much as the Professor Hulk, but still, it's like, oh, really?
Nah, I mean,
come on, guys.
The Incredible Hulk character really got me was much worse than Fat Thor.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are two of the two things you hear a lot of the fans talk about, though. I think the two major things as far as
I have another major thing, unless you guys have something.
No, go ahead.
Nah, go right ahead, man.
Okay. The Iron Man gauntlet makes no sense.
Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree.
The fact that they had to go to
Not nowhere.
not Boromir, but Nevedalir to get the.
They had to forge that from a dying sun.
Right. They had to forge it, a special made gauntlet. But here's Iron Man, who's able, not only one time he's able to forge a gauntlet that's going to hold the stones for one thing, and then also figure out time travel like that. That's another thing. But that I did not like that. I don't think. What was the point of going to Nevedalir then? It's a special gauntlet that's supposed to hold him, but Iron Man's able to make one.
I 100% agree. Yeah, there's no way. I do not think that that should not have been able to hold the stones. And they never explained it. Like at least and again, the time travel thing, yeah, but at least like we know Tony Stark's a genius, so like maybe he could figure it out. But how would he just be like, oh yeah, like this will hold the stones? Like I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's made from dwarf like technology,
right?
It's a lot more.
Okay, to be fair, I've only seen the movie once, and you gotta refresh my memory on what you mean talking about. Because like, what
more when they go to Nevedalir to for Thor to get his axe. You remember he was the one who made the gauntlet for Thanos.
Right.
The gauntlet. Okay, so
the gauntlet was made specifically for Thanos from the dwarf.
Yes.
From like the star's power. I mean, that's how strong the gauntlet needed to be.
And everyone knew about the gauntlet. Odin knew about the gauntlet. Everyone knows about the gauntlet, how it's supposed to have the stones. It would hold the stones. And it's the only weapon to do that. But here's Tony Stark, who creates his own gauntlet that him and Hulk both use.
Yeah, with Iron Man tech. That's what he used. You saw it. It was from his suit.
No sense.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I totally agree.
When I saw it, I didn't really bother me because I guess I don't know. I was like, whatever. I mean, like to me, it was more like this is the one. It's the one feature that Doctor Strange was referring to where it has to be this way. So I was kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Thomas, what did you think of that?
The gauntlet. Does that bother you?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much when I listened to what Dan and Rob said about the gauntlet, I gotta agree with them. I remember that was one of because I saw the movie twice, and I didn't pick up on it the first time, but I paid more attention to it the second time, and I can definitely understand that criticism. And I got to go along with what Rob and Dan said because when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, because I looked at it more carefully because I didn't pick it up the first time I saw the movie. I saw it like the weekend after I saw it, the weekend it opened, and I'm like, yeah, like that gauntlet thing, yeah.
Perfect example, okay? When Thanos used the gauntlet in Infinity War, he went like this. He snapped. The gauntlet was damaged. In this movie, Hulk uses it first, and then it's fine. And then Tony uses it.
Yeah.
It's damaged when Tony uses it, but there's two snaps that happen. It makes no sense.
Unless he made it like where it cannot be destroyed after using it once. So
I don't know.
Iron Man's Mary Sue. Okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. I just mentioned that I've only seen the movie once, and I'm gonna get into that. Reason is this movie's way too long. I mean, I understand it's the last hurrah. It's a 3-hour epic. And that's where they're going for. But that first half of the movie really drags. I'm not even gonna lie.
The second half is slow.
I feel. I think it's 20 minutes longer than Infinity War. I think.
Yeah.
It's still an hour longer.
We figure it's like 3 hours and 2 minutes with credits, so it's probably like an hour and or 2 hours and 50 some minutes.
Well, Infinity War was paced better.
Yes.
There was a battle, then it slowed down. Then there was a battle, then it slowed down. Then there was,
I like that pacing better.
They were really trying to drive it home what had happened as far as the
Far from home.
Yep.
knee slapper.
They're really trying to drive it, let everyone know like how all the characters and stuff were feeling. I wouldn't say the first act necessarily. I felt. I guess I can't think of as I was watching it if I was like, oh, this is really dragging. But I did feel like the second half, it just felt like they.
I feel like the second half is kind of like it's like what stuff we've seen already. It was like from the other movies.
Yeah, like
That
they
did
felt like
too style.
They took too much time on each scene. They should have just shortened it. Okay, you show up here, get the stone, that's it, go. They shouldn't, just get out of there.
I'll say right now that the whole Asgard scene, I didn't like it. It went on too long. And it was just like, seriously, we need to have a scene that went on for like 5 minutes with Thor and Rocket, where Thor's like, oh, I can't talk to, like, this is bothering me too much.
Do we need to show Natalie Portman? Like, come on.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. I think they really were going for like an intimate moment with like him meeting with his mom.
Kat Dennings.
Don't save me that joke for later.
Renee Russo, like, okay, how many? She was in Thor 1 and 2, right?
She died in 2.
She died in 2. I don't even know how big a part she had in Thor 1. So I didn't feel like it was like, okay, it wasn't like we were seeing like a scene with. Okay, I know Odin died in Thor 3, but let's just say there was a scene with Odin and Thor in this movie. That would have had more of an impact because we kind of care about Odin, I guess. But
Anthony Hopkins.
I didn't watch Renee, to be honest. I mean, Odin, I'm just like, after Ragnarok, he was so damn tired. I wish I would have left him.
He didn't want to come back, and he didn't come back.
Asgard's not a place of the people. Shut up, old man.
Yeah, that scene bothered me. Yeah, all the Back to the Future ripoff stuff. It's too long.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is, I guess, I don't know if this is a nitpick or range problem. I don't know what you guys thought about this, the time travel.
Oh my god, I know what you're saying.
Like, for example, they say, oh, if we change things in the past when we go on this mission, it's not gonna change our future. It's gonna just change the alternate timeline or some shit like that. Or, for example, Thor takes gets his hammer back, but he stole it from Thor from Thor 2. So Thor has no hammer in this alternate timeline.
Oh, but it's an alternate timeline.
Though. Don't forget at the end of the movie, Cap takes it back.
Yeah, he can be
right. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
It still doesn't give a. It still matters to shit because. Because they already explained. The Russos created this new time theory that is just stupid. Like, no matter what you do, there's no risk. Whatever you do in the past, it just
creates a new timeline.
So yeah, there was no risk at all.
Blame Professor Hulk. He explained the whole thing.
That was really, what was the point of bringing the fucking?
So you're telling me that Captain America went to Vormir and just laid the goddamn Soul Stone in the ocean or in the water, or did he give it to Red Skull? Say here. Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. No Red Skull Captain America reunion.
What the fuck? I'll one up you though.
Look, there's some. Hold on. Okay, I think we're only halfway to the problems here because I'm remembering more issues. Maybe not more nitpicks, but like, damn, like there was no scene where Captain America sees Red Skull again.
I thought they're gonna say where he sees Queen Amidala.
I was about to see Quicksilver, but like, oh, slip.
Oh, Quicksilver. Man, what a
dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do you one better as far as the stone goes. Oh, okay, Captain America, you need to take the stones back. Well, here's the reality stone that was liquid first. When you take that back, what are you gonna do? It's a stone now.
Oh, he ran it under hot water.
Too many loopholes.
Oh yeah. And speaking of the time travel stuff, they don't care that Loki escaped.
Nah, they
don't
can
even
care less about Loki.
We're not going to worry about
Yeah,
that.
now it's all good because now Loki can do more movies and do more another
Show. It's gonna do a show, yeah.
Yeah.
Disney Plus coming in this
Well,
fall.
he'll probably be. They said they're announcing another Thor movie. He'll probably be in that too.
Yeah, but like, the Avengers don't the ones that are going in the mission, they don't even care. Like, oh shoot, he escaped. It's Loki from 2012, so he's evil.
That's American ass. America's ass.
In actuality, you can actually tell that we all hated this movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a rant on the movie. Worst movie of the year.
I don't know how long we've been talking about this, but everything we're saying we didn't like.
This is a Dark Knight Rises situation. If you badmouth this movie, you're gonna get death threats.
Yeah.
Number one, people think this is a masterpiece.
It isn't a masterpiece, but there are good things about the movie.
Yeah, but we'll get to that tomorrow.
That'll
We're gonna be all night.
take just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's it.
I'll see you guys at 5 a.m.
Yeah. But okay, okay, this is a nitpick, but I'm pretty sure everybody's brought this up. Do you know who the real hero of this movie is? It's the rat.
Yeah.
That sewer rat is the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that a lot. And it never occurred to me, like, honestly.
When I saw that, I'm like, really?
They're in the right place at the right time.
So it's okay. Yeah, a rat just stumbled on and accidentally pushed a button and man gets freed from the.
What did you think? What did you guys think, honestly, about Black Widow's death?
I thought that was handled well.
I thought it was handled okay. Yeah, I thought it was well.
Yeah, I was fine with it. And then people started to be like, "Where's her funeral, bitch?"
Yeah, that's true.
They don't ever talk about her really. Just Hawkeye talks about her a little bit, but
it just goes to show you that no one cares about.
Speaking of Hawkeye, oh my god,
a funeral for
another problem I have. I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I hope
SJW.
I was gonna bring something up, but I think Alex is about to bring it up because I didn't want to look like a prick. But Alex,
no, the thing with the Hawkeye.
I think I know what you're
I hate women.
Okay, the opening, like with the Hawkeye, the way it opens was so good, and then the way it transitions. Okay, he lost his mind because he lost his family for 5 years. He was killing criminals. Oh, that's cool. He's gained some sort of arc. And then when Black Widow finds him and finds out what's been going on with him, he says, like, don't give me hope. Like, I've lost all hope. And then she's like, just please, we have to try. And he's like, okay, fine. And then when he gets there, he's all fine. He's all good now. He's a good guy again. I mean, he has no darkness in him. He's all good. He's the same guy he was in the other Avengers movies. That's it.
She
great setup, no payoff with this character.
I think she said it was maybe she said the lullaby that she told Hulk.
lullaby.
She gave Hulk the lullaby. His sun's getting real low. That's what she did. It's a deleted scene. He calmed him down.
Yeah.
And there are other ways.
I mean, that's one thing. Like, oh man, like they had something good, interesting with this character, and like, oh well, whatever. He's okay now.
His haircut was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I guess I didn't think about it, but I mean,
what are you gonna mention?
You are right.
The same thing.
Well, that's the movie. There's no explanation for anything. You just go. Just go.
Dan, what were you gonna say that you thought you were?
I guess I won't be the prick because that wasn't what it was gonna be.
Okay, what was
I'm sorry, but I know, and this isn't something I saw online. I just noticed it when we watched the movie. I did not like the fact that they had that women's scene in the third act. All of a sudden, every female character just happened to be standing together, or they all fly in like, yeah, girl power, let's go.
And some of them didn't even know each other. Like the Wasp ain't gonna know Wanda Maximoff.
It was handled badly. Listen, if you're gonna, it was just handled poorly. Like it stood out, and that's not what we need. Like, and it bothers me when like I've seen girls online be like, yeah, that scene was awesome, and I'm like, really? I'm like,
we gotta have a scene for everybody.
Because I wouldn't see a bunch of the guys standing in a line. Let's just say it was all guys. Okay, let's just say. And then they start fighting. I wouldn't be like, yeah, guys. I just be like, okay, that was a but it was but like I would even probably be like, okay, well, why were they all guys there? I'd be like, where were the girls at? You know, like why did they have this? It was like
it shoved it in your face.
Yeah, because what was it? Wasn't it like Spider-Man had something, and then and all of a sudden and they're like, we got you, and it was every single female character together. I was like,
it's just to show that women can be more powerful. It's like, why do you need to show it?
We already know that with those characters.
Yeah, we know women can be powerful, but
those characters
shove it down our throats, though.
They need to hold our hand.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with women having power. We already know that these characters are powerful. You didn't need to shove that in our faces, but what pisses me off is that, like, yeah, the general female audience is like, yeah, that scene was great. Like, it didn't make sense from a movie perspective. So yeah, I know that's a big nitpick, but it bothers me.
They're doing that shit in Terminator Dark Fate too. But
But it's funny because I asked my sister, like, hey, what'd you think of that shot with all the females? And she's like, it was on the nose.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you guys one question about the movie itself. I want your guys' thoughts on this, but I don't know if you have any complaints.
It sucked.
What?
It sucked.
How do you think that feels?
Yeah, but go ahead.
I was going to ask, now, considering like the comedic aspects of like certain parts of the movie, did you feel like some of the comedic aspects kind of fell flat on its face, like with some jokes?
Yeah.
The fat Thor stuff.
Did you feel like maybe at some points in the movie, like that the tone was inconsistent with, you know, going from dark to comedic to dark? Is some comedy moments here and there.
I don't think it wasn't paced as good as Infinity War's comedy.
I feel like this movie should have had less comedy.
Because I feel like, you know, there's one point in the movie where Alex already mentioned how the movie started out, you know, how Hawkeye's family disappears with like the dust and then, you know, such a great opening to a movie, because I really like the character of Hawkeye, and when we get to the positives, I really think they gave Hawkeye a big thumbs up in the movie. I like that. And
yeah.
But what's weird is that like the very next scene, you see Nebula and Iron Man playing paper football.
No, but I like that. I actually kind of like that though.
Yeah, well, it's subtle humor, different from like slapstick. Like all the Thor stuff. Like, but by that time, all this stuff has happened, and you're just kind of like bored. And then like then Thor starts being fat and like playing Fortnite. It's like they go too far with it. It's like, okay, a couple of jokes and then be done. Let's move on to something else.
Yeah, at this point it just feels like student mandate. Like you have to have this much comedy in your Marvel movie.
I kind of felt like they kind of pushed the comedy all on Thor.
And
and like Ant-Man, like the stuff that, you know, he says a couple of funny things and Rocket says a couple of funny things, but I don't know.
I guess
I'll never forget that one joke that Rocket made to Thor. You know, there's beer on the ship.
Yeah. Oh, I care about the world.
Infinity War definitely. I just feel like they handled the comedy perfectly. Like, I think it was well balanced in that movie. I feel like this movie. Yeah, I don't think it was perfectly balanced. I honestly can't think of a specific joke that I didn't think landed, but the fact that it became so dire from Infinity War, it was, I guess, strange that there was the mix of comedy and sadness because of how bleak they made the first act. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like I felt like, you know, I felt like there were some comedy aspects that did work, but I felt like the comedic timing was done better in Infinity War.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other problems?
I mean, I guess we kind of touched on the time travel stuff, but it just I just feel like the second act really drug on. I think they needed to shorten some of that stuff.
Do you think that was the act that kind of dragged the most?
I did personally. I thought Act 2.
Yep, for sure. That's.
What about you, Alex? What part did you think? What act of the movie do you think dragged like the most?
I guess I would say the second act as well.
when they were doing the time travel.
Yeah, the first and second act, they both dragged a little bit for me.
I feel like the second act when they go back into the time traveling scheme, I felt like there were some parts where they kind of dragged like certain areas like for too long.
Speaking of that, what do you think? I mean, how do you feel about Tony Stark figuring time travel out, like just like that? First, he's like, it can't be done. Then he sits there, and it's like a few minutes. Oh, I've already figured it out. He tells Pepper, he's like, I figured it out. By the way, it's like, oh man, you are a genius.
Oh,
that was easy.
He's a Barry Sue.
I mean, we're not talking about something small here. We're talking about time travel. It's like,
What? Not only did he determine how to do time travel, he determined how to do it where there were no sacrifices.
right, everything
No
will be okay.
consequences.
Everything will be all right. Even the ancient one said, you'll create your own multiple realities, so you're fine.
I mean, honestly, I totally agree with you, but like, it didn't really. I guess it didn't bother me.
I mean, if anyone was going to create or figure it out, would be either Professor Hulk or Tony. So,
Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
The time travel and the time travel and the time travel and Days of Future Past was done much better.
Yeah.
In every movie.
Yeah. They pretty much like all the time travel in those movies you see are all fake. That's not possible.
Movie sucks.
Okay. This is one last thing. My last negative. I guess this is an nitpick, but you know how like they, in a way, they're celebrating the whole time travel thing was also kind of like a celebration of all the past movies. They do reference like every other MCU movie except Incredible Hulk. They don't mention Incredible Hulk whatsoever. And I was like, come on, man. I know you guys hate Ed Norton now, but like, it's part of the universe. It happened.
I mean, they had General Ross there, right?
He's in it, yeah.
They should have had like Liv Tyler or something.
Yeah.
As Betty.
Wait, was General Ross in this one or in Infinity War?
He was in this one as well.
That's true. Okay.
He was at the end, funeral.
I do.
Yes.
I do have one minor complaint. Okay, and
Right.
I just want to mention this. Everyone was excited when Captain America got the Mjolnir, the hammer, or Thor's hammer. But the thing is, I don't know, I guess, extensive knowledge on this, but I don't think he should have been able to shoot lightning. And the reason I'm saying is because if we're going off of Thor Ragnarok, Odin says to Thor that Mjolnir, all that is something to control his power. Hence, control his lightning, which we know in Thor Ragnarok, Thor gets, right? He gets lightning within his body. He's the god of thunder and lightning. Okay, so he didn't need the hammer to do that. So how is it that Captain America was able to forge lightning?
Details not important.
Okay, I get he was worthy.
Wait, what did Alex say?
Details not important.
I get the fact that he was worthy to hold it. That's fine. Vision was able to hold it in Age of Ultron. However, I don't understand how he's able to forge lightning. I just don't get it. He's not a god, so I don't get how he was able to do it. But
I mean, it makes sense because Thor is who harnesses the thunder and lightning, not the hammer.
Right. Odin said in Ragnarok that the hammer was a thing to control the lightning. So maybe he was wrong, stupid old man.
Okay, last nitpick.
Should have listened to Odin from Son of the Mask.
Yeah. Last nitpick. Why wasn't Kat Dennings in the final battle?
Breast surgery.
She should have been. You know what? She should have been in that like shot where all the female characters like. She should have been there. Like, hey guys.
Well, then that would have made the scene better. So yeah, I would have totally.
Yeah. Thanos shoots every missile he has at her, and that's how it ends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the negatives for me. Unless you guys have more.
No, I'm done.
Nah, that's all the negatives for me.
I might think of another negative while we talk about the positives.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, moving on. Spider-Man Far From. No, just kidding.
Before we move on to that, I will say, like, all the comedy with the Hulk was probably the worst, because they dealt with Hulk the worst way possible.
Oh, I agree.
Because, like, like the very first scene when you see Banner and Hulk merged together, taking selfies with kids in a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Hulk smash!
Yeah.
And he kind of does that thing that, like, Stallone did, like that
Yeah.
fist thing.
He's making fun of himself. It's like, it's so stupid. Like, Hulk smash, and he's like being funny about it. Like, you know what?
Yeah, but anyways, like, I can go on and on about the way they portrayed Hulk, but, like, I'm done with all my negatives, though.
Yeah, I'm done too.
Yeah. I think even recently, like Lou Ferrigno said, the Hulk in Endgame was trash.
Most people are saying, especially
Lou Ferrigno said he was trash.
I can definitely agree with. I can see where Lou Ferrigno's coming from.
I think Eric Bana and Edward Norton should come out and say, "Yeah, that sucked, guys."
Eric Bana was definitely better in this at this point.
Yeah, and I'm gonna appreciate that Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk. There you go.
I'll buy it on Blu-ray now.
Yeah, that has less negatives now than Endgame. But yeah, that's all. Like, damn, dude, that was a lot more than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, that just sums up our thoughts on the.
Yeah, that's it. You moving on? Spider-Man Far From Home came out. All right, okay, that's positive. So let's.
I'll start with the positives. I'll say one of the biggest positives. I kind of touched on this before. I kind of sprinkled some info about it when we were doing the negatives. Was Hawkeye. I think the way they portrayed Hawkeye was fantastic. I didn't really expect them to give Hawkeye a big thumbs up, as much of a bigger thumbs up than I expected. Because I like Jeremy Renner. I think I like Jeremy Renner as an actor. I think he does a great job as Hawkeye. I think the way they portrayed his scenes were really, really well done. Like the way he loses his family in the beginning, he becomes a vigilante, he's killing criminals, and I like that. I like they gave him some development. They gave him a nice role in the movie. So I can definitely say that's one of my big positives of the movie was Hawkeye. I think they did a great job with Hawkeye.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I also, I think the way now I'll go into my positive about the kind of jumping ahead to the ending, but the death of Iron Man, which was expected. I think pretty much all of us expected the death of Iron Man.
I was expecting either Iron Man or Cap, but
yeah,
I was surprised that they didn't kill Captain America off. I
thought it was gonna be Captain America, not Iron Man.
I really thought I mean, I kind of thought like it was either going to be Iron Man or Captain America. Like I was kind of leaning more towards Iron Man, but Captain America was kind of tied for first place with Iron Man. But I was actually surprised they didn't kill Captain America off. But I think the way they handled the Iron Man death had a heart to it.
Yeah, I was tearing up. I actually was in the movie.
I especially Spider-Man's reaction. Mr. Stark, come on, wake up, Mr. Stark. It's me, Spider-Man. Like, wake up, Mr. Stark.
That was actually the funniest moment for me.
I actually thought Gwyneth Paltrow. actually did something useful for once, and that's cry for things. That was useful.
Iron Man 3 guys.
I don't remember being in any of the movies.
That's right. I was inspired.
I mean, she killed. What the hell was his name? Edward Nygma in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, Edward Nygma. Yeah.
She killed him. The first time she'd done something useful.
I don't even remember being in that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, that was done well.
Yeah,
that scene.
I thought Captain was going to be the one to go, but so I kind of was. I figured it'd be Iron Man or Cap, but my money was on Cap.
As soon as his shield broke, I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shoot. But once all the heroes came back in that scene, I kind of feel like, okay, I think Captain America's safe. Because that was the moment. If you're gonna kill him off, that was like the moment. And
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By the way, before we continue, my favorite part of the whole movie was when he got the hammer, and the crowd went nuts in the art theater. But for me, that was my favorite part of the whole film.
Yeah, the fight between him and Thanos was like the best fight of the movie. Like
Yeah, like I love the way like when he throws the social shield and then it comes back and he hits it with the hammer and he throw it back at Thanos. Like that's pretty cool. That
we're
talking about what?
So we're talking about like Prime Thanos versus Cap. Like
yeah. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was a good fight between Cap and Iron and Thanos.
He should have, you know what? The one little nitpick though, he should have said, "I could do this all day," or something like that.
He said it earlier, so
that's true. But to Thanos, like, because he was not going to give up. I mean, he like at the moment before he found out that everybody was back, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna die in this. I'm gonna go out to the death if I have to."
Can we admit that Scarlet Witch would have killed Thanos?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he had him.
He had no way of escaping except for that part there.
Yeah, because he said, "Throw all the missiles down on our own people." That's how he got out of that.
And I like that line when she's like, "You ruined my life," and he's like, "I don't even know who you are," and she's like, "You will." Like I love that.
Yeah.
I love Scarlet Witch. She's just so cool. Like Infinity War, that whole fight with her and Vision versus Corvus Glaive, like that was awesome.
Corvus Glaive, that's the name I think.
Yeah.
Call Obsidian is the big one.
I think there's no question that the Russos know how to direct actors in their dramatic scenes, and there was no exception to this film. Dramatic scenes was great.
They really do.
I almost started tearing up too when Captain America was back. Time travel back and he saw Peggy, and he was kind of like looking down, like man, he like misses her. Like that whole part was good too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Move on, Steve. You only know it for like a month.
Well, what about
when he raped his niece?
What about the niece though? What happened with her?
What?
What?
What did he say?
Oh, like what about when he raped his niece? I'm like, you know what? They were in love.
Okay, yeah.
I think when he boned Peggy, he's like, "I boned your daughter."
I love the Carter family.
Oh, the Carters. They're just like Peggy.
But yeah, I at the end, the way the movie ends, like, okay, that was perfect. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Forever Young.
It reminded me of On Golden Pond.
On Golden Pond. Wait a minute. Is that Jane Fonda?
No,
Jane Fonda. On Golden Pond?
No, the Fonda. Not Jane. Yeah, she said it, but what was her dad's name?
Peter Fonda.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Mr. Ghost Rider? Remember Ghost Rider?
And the old lady that talked like this, faking a glass. Well, Audrey Hepburn, or wasn't that?
Golden Pond. Oh man.
What else?
That's it. That's all the positives. This movie sucked.
They didn't have that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have one thing. I have a question, but we'll wait till we're done with the positive.
Okay. Thomas, can you think of positives? Because I'm struggling.
Other positives I would say are like I mentioned Hawkeye. I like the way they portrayed the death of Iron Man. That had a heart to it. I like that. Another positive I would say about the movie is I think the third act is a lot of fun to watch. The third act, because that's what it was really building towards, was the third act of the film. Even though I do think when we mentioned the nitpicks, I thought or the, I guess you would say negatives, but I kind of wish they had more like other characters had more screen time to develop, like when they came back, like Black Panther or War. Things like that. Like some of those characters, like the Wasp, and things like that.
Yeah, but like the ones that get dusted away, like I didn't expect them to have that much screen time, to be honest.
But I understand that they weren't gonna have as much screen time, but because they did fly away like dust in Infinity War. But it would have been nice to have maybe a couple minutes here and there of a little bit of development here and there. But overall, the third act was really, really fun. That's really what it's building up to, because this this I guess you would say battle between the Avengers and Thanos was building up since 2008 when the first Iron Man was released, And I think, the end fight was a lot of fun to watch, seeing all these characters go up against Thanos, and, the way they wrap up some of the characters is really, really nice as well. Iron Man's death, Captain America, things like that. Hawkeye gets his family back. That was nice. You get to see Hawkeye with his family and things like that, because that was a big plus. I like Hawkeye. And I also really do think that the Black Widow's death was handled fine. I think Black Widow's death was handled fine. It was a sacrifice between her and Hawkeye. But overall, I think the third act was a lot of fun to watch. I say that was definitely one of the biggest thumbs up for me.
You will have nothing but dust and blood. That's what Black Widow said. And he was dusted.
Give the glove to me. I will run for 10 seconds.
What kind of banana?
I really love the moment when they're all coming back.
Good action. There was definitely some good action in the third. But
definitely the best part of the movie.
But really, besides that, was there any other good action scenes?
Yes, Cap versus Cap.
I mean, was that? It was fine.
That was more like a comedic action scene, because it was
yeah. So it's when you think about it, it's come on, these movies are supposed to have memorable action scenes. The end was memorable, but what else was there?
What, you didn't like Robert Redford? I need that kid done.
What you guys think of the time jump? That was 5 years later.
Good.
Actually, I was surprised. Oh shoot!
I thought good.
I thought okay, they're gonna go back in time and start where they left off, except they win at the end of it. You know what I mean? I didn't think they were actually gonna stay in 5 years later.
Right.
2000, what would it be 2025 or whatever?
Okay, what do you think of
2023? That's the year that they are now.
Okay.
They confirmed.
What do you think of what do you think of Captain giving Sam the shield?
Nah, wait. This was the question I was gonna have.
Okay, fine. Fuck it.
The question is throwing plot and logic out the window. Who would you have liked the shield to go to? Not just for personal opinion, not based on story.
Throwing out whatever was handled plot wise, right?
Right.
Who would I like the shield to go to? It would make more sense for it to go to Bucky, because I know he's got blood on his hands, but it's been a while, and since everyone was dusted, would it even matter?
Well, and like I said, it doesn't even matter plot wise. Who do you think?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look logically at it. I would say Bucky. He's a super soldier.
What do you guys say?
I think it should have been Kat Dennings.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I agree.
That was the choice. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the serum.
That was
Yeah,
the ending.
On this one, I gotta say Bucky.
Friend, so
Yeah, because I honestly, Steve Rogers have known Bucky way longer than Falcon.
And he would be a super soldier. So
that's my reason, and I agree with. I say Bucky because of the fact that has the super soldier serum, so he can. His body is technically the same as Cap's body, so he can handle that. I mean, he's got a vibranium arm. Bucky's just a person.
Sam would die.
Yeah.
But plot wise, based on everything we've seen in the movies, it does make more sense to go to Sam, just because Bucky's had psychological problems, and people probably wouldn't want.
They're gonna have the show on Disney Plus, them together. It's both
right.
Falcon and
I believe in the comics, though, they were both Captain America.
They were.
So I guess it doesn't matter.
They're gonna have to share.
Yeah.
The scale.
Plus, it's like Bucky doesn't have really an alter ego. I mean, Winter Soldier, that's kind of dumb.
But I mean, talking about that scene, like, what did you think of him, of old Captain just sitting there, like all of a sudden, like he disappears, and then all of a sudden he's just there. He's just sitting over here.
It even breaks the Russo brothers' own time travel rules. Like Captain shouldn't have been able to go back to that time because
wouldn't just make create an alternate timeline?
He already did. When he went back, he created.
Yeah, but why didn't he wouldn't be able to come back old? Right?
If he waited, I mean, when he went to where he went in the past, it's like he aged. He spent 80 whatever years of his life. Then he went back to that moment because he has time travel.
He kept the
return home.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it does make sense because like early in the movie when they're testing it, like Ant-Man kept coming back as old and coming back as a child. So. Maybe
no, I mean, it makes sense that
no, he just stayed back in time for how many ever years, and then he decides to just come back after.
Right, it'd be like in Back to the Future 3 when Doc Brown.
So Peggy's dead.
Yeah, so at that point, Peggy's dead. So look at it like this: so it's the year 2023. Captain is in 2023. He goes back to 30. Gets like with Peggy, then he lives the rest of his life out. Till
he gets
close to whatever. We don't even know. It could be in the future. It could be past. But then he goes, when he's old man, he goes back to 2023 and passes the shield.
But
that's how.
That makes that relationship with the granddaughter or niece or whatever in Civil War kind of creepy now.
It did.
You don't have any relevance anymore.
That's the problem with having to end something. I mean, the Russos had a tough job. They really did to try to wrap everything up, and I mean, they probably did the best they could. But
since now he lived a life with Peggy. Now that guy that she married, that she mentioned in Winter Soldier, fuck that guy, right? That guy.
The theory going around is that was Captain America that she married.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it'd be like
it happened before they even went to back in time.
But that's the paradox of time travel. It'd be like, well, if he went back in time, there's like two versions of him at that time. So
you know how
I'm gonna have to draw a fucking chart.
They could have even in the cartoon and the comics, Thanos didn't get hurt by using the stones. So I think they should have ignored that whole thing. So Thanos would still have the stones, and he could still have, then the Avengers fight him and bring the others back just by getting the gauntlet. They could ignore this whole time travel bullshit. Like this, it could all be gone.
Yeah, how I thought the movie was going to go is they were going to go confront Thanos in the beginning of the movie and get their asses kicked.
Right.
And then in the third act, have whatever, like bring in Captain Marvel or more characters that maybe somehow they brought more characters in, and then they got the glove and then fixed everything.
Right.
But I mean, I guess the Russos, maybe they didn't want to be predictable. They wanted to do something that maybe people wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, but I think most people expected time travel.
Oh. They did, but
the only reason I knew about it was because they had like that behind the scenes footage of like them in their old costumes.
Right, standing in New York, so we already knew. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. There's like little moments in the movie that I really loved. First one. When they're back in 2012 in New York and Captain America gets what the hell is this thing called? Arc reactor?
Tesseract?
Tesseract? Yeah, the Tesseract from the
Hydra?
From the Shield, Hydra, and he says, "Hey, I got this, trust me." And then he says, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah.
And then he leaves and he has a smile on his face like, "Yeah, I got you, bitches." Not this time. I love that moment.
That was good.
Or like we get to see what they were doing right after the final fight. What we didn't get to see, like they make Hulk take the stairs, and that was pretty funny. Hulk stairs. I hate stairs or whatever he said.
The original Hulk.
Yeah.
As a baby.
Hulk the light takes stairs.
Yeah, that part. What do you guys think of Tony having a daughter?
That's
I
fine.
liked it. It improved the story
That
a
was a
little
pretty,
bit.
that was a pretty good reveal.
Yeah.
Like he's the only one that moved on with his life.
I still don't think they handled Black Widow's death good, though. I still think they should have had something for her, like more. I felt, Tony's funeral overshadowed her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was original Avenger, I kind of felt like...
Yeah, would it have been so hard at Iron, like to have a joint funeral? Like, what would that have
No,
caused?
apparently not.
I mean, she was on the run most of her life because she's an assassin, but still.
Even
He
Nick
was
Fury,
part of
even
the Avenger.
Nick Fury was like, "Oh yeah, I don't care about her anymore."
Yeah, because really at Tony's funeral, it was only close Avenger people. They could have easily had Black Widow and Iron Man together.
They only mentioned her at the end by the lake when Hawkeye mentions her. He's like, "Oh, Nat said something about her," but that's it. That's all we get, for her.
Yeah, way to respect that character, Russos.
What about Vision? We didn't get a funeral for him either.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't even do anything with
They
him.
didn't even mention. I mean, the only mention of him was when Scarlet Witch said, "You took everything."
Well, he'll be in the streaming service show, so
That's stupid.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't care, to be honest.
And did you guys ever mention ever see that we haven't mentioned Star-Lord at all from the Guardians?
Yeah, why didn't they yell at him saying, "This is all your fault, asshole"?
I mean, they could. Again, that goes back to Dan's point. They didn't do enough when they came back. They didn't do enough to make us care about them anymore, or again, so to say.
And you barely see him in the time traveling part too.
Oh, here.
I like
Okay,
that bit though. When he's singing, yeah.
big plot point. Okay, where did Gamora go?
You mean the past Gamora?
She was
Yeah.
fighting in the third act
Yeah.
battle. Battle's over. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Yeah, where is that?
The Russo said that she ran off, but they don't in the movie. It's just
In
a
the
matter
movie,
of-
I'm sitting there watching the movie. I'm like, okay, Gamora. She kicks him in the nuts. She fights in the final battle with all the women. Then everyone gets dusted. Funeral. Where's Gamora? She's not even standing with the Guardians because she's the original Gamora before that time. So where'd she go? I was like, where the hell? Like, don't you think that was kind of like a big problem?
I'm guessing they'll probably address that.
I mean,
Guardians 3.
I think that they could have thrown in
Well,
a line of
explain
dots.
it, but-
well, they showed Star-Lord looking at a map, trying to locate her.
she was missing, but
I mean, because she doesn't have any links to any of them.
it's not like when the battle.
Only a Nebula.
It doesn't show Gamora being like, I gotta get out of here. Like,
Yeah, they
you
could have
know?
had a little scene of her being like, "This ain't my time." Where's Marty?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Gamora.
that's just a thing that they're gonna just address in Guardians 3.
Well, they better.
I mean, yeah, pretty sure.
They will. They will.
Damn, what was another thing I wanted to talk about? Let's see. I know you guys think I'm struggling here. It sounds like we hate the movie or something, you know?
Hey, movie, everybody watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just feel like the negatives. The thing is, we care about the characters, we care about the films, and so the small things that we don't like are big deals.
Yeah.
Even though we liked some of the movie, lots of the parts of the movie, the negatives stand out because we want answers and they didn't give us answers.
Well, there wasn't that many gaps in Infinity War. We were just like, well, what happened here? What happened there? We were, it was pretty self-explanatory there.
Well, and that's the thing. Infinity War had questions that we thought would be answered in this movie,
Exactly.
and then
Setups,
they didn't.
yeah.
They didn't. So it's Last Jedi.
Yeah, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker now.
Okay.
Maybe we're not confused.
Yeah, open that can of worms again.
Yeah.
I
I think we covered the whole movie now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's for the whole two or
I
almost
think
three.
that pretty much sums up everything.
Really? I mean, it's all. I mean, it sounds like we talked about the negatives more than the positives. Holy shit.
Well, that's the movie. Negative.
Oh, you know what though? I know I said earlier that I didn't like the Captain Marvel had little screen time, but I
Right.
did. Okay, and I said like, I liked her in the movie, even though wasn't into that much. But I did really love because I was looking forward to the moment in the final battle where she shows up. Because the whole time I was thinking during the time travel scenes and the final battle started, I was thinking, where the fuck is Captain Marvel? And then when she finally showed up, I was like the only one in the theater that cheered, like, yes, Captain Marvel.
Did you go on opening night, Alex, or no?
Yeah, I did.
Really? Was it full? The
It was.
theater?
It was.
And I can't believe, man, like our crowd was like into it, man.
Dude, there were so many kids. I was like, damn, kid, don't you have school the next day? Get the hell out of here.
How about you, Thomas? Did you go opening night?
I actually went. I went on a Saturday. I think the weekend it opened. I went on Saturday at 8:00 in the morning.
Oh,
So you had no crowd? Or was it full?
No, no, our crowd was full.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, at 8:00 in the morning.
8:00 in the morning is full. That's unheard of.
My crowd was fantastic, by the way.
it hasn't beat Avatar, has it?
It's 7 million short.
Oh,
It's gonna be Avatar.
I don't know if it will, man, because it's
But okay, I'll get into that stupid re-release crap. But I was gonna say that I like the little moment where Captain Marvel fights Thanos. I was looking forward to that, and like I love the little moment when he tries to headbutt her and he does nothing,
yeah.
and then he uses the Power Stone to punch her. And I actually love Brie Larson's reaction before she gets punched. Like, oh, shit, that was great.
Yeah, they in the haircut they gave her.
I liked it.
That's how she is in the comic. She's
I
short
don't
hair.
complain about that.
Well, I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah, I've heard complaints too, but I thought it looked
I
awesome.
thought it was an awesome looking. I thought it was an awesome look for her
I
too.
was like, okay, that's fine. It didn't bother me.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't bother me at all either.
Why don't you smile more?
yeah, really, show some emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, but any other positives? I mean, I got some other ones, but they're like little moments. Like, oh, okay, it's cool. Like during the funeral, Happy tells Tony's daughter like, your father loved cheeseburgers, and that was a joke in the original Iron Man, like about like he wanted his American cheeseburger. Like, oh, they actually referenced that. Like, I thought I was the only one to remember that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Again, but still, bummer that there was no Incredible Hulk reference. Like, they celebrated all the movies except for that one.
I don't know.
That's the black sheep that I said. Now it's confirmed. Like literally, the Russo brothers and Marvel, they've pretty much like by not mentioning in Endgame, that's the black sheep of the franchise. Like
I like Happy Hogan. I know a lot of people don't care for him, but I don't know. I just like his presence on screen. Like I know he provides comedy, but I don't know. I like how he's so close to Stark. Like,
Happy Hogan.
Yeah, and Jon Favreau's cool too.
Yeah, but like he's having an interesting weekend.
Well, yeah, but that's his own fault.
I'm just saying. I heard it's copy and paste that Lion King remake.
Well, that's what.
I haven't seen it yet, but I probably
It's
won't.
okay doing the Jungle Book, but when you do something like Lion King, I think you're screwed.
But what I say, guys, Black Panther was the true Lion King live action remake because it was actually fucking live action.
Yeah,
It was actually live action. Just saying.
Just blood.
Yeah. But yeah, any other positives before we move on to Spider-Man Far From Home?
I was actually glad to not, after the movie's over, I was glad to get up and take a piss after a while. It was done.
Dude, I had to take a piss halfway through the damn movie, and I went before the movie started.
Yeah, it was a rough.
My bladder suffered that night, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I wasn't like that satisfied with the movie. But it's long. It felt long. I've seen movies where like it's like 2.5 hours, 2 hours minutes. But yeah, but I've never felt. This is the only one where I felt like, oh man, this is way too freaking long.
So do you feel like it was like one of those things where it kind of dragged a little too much for your taste?
Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't feel this way when I saw The Dark Knight. I mean, that movie flew by so fast.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if I found it like. I just when the second act happened, I was.
Oh, actually,
Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
actually, like I didn't feel it at all when I saw Infinity War. Infinity War, the pace was much better. It went by faster, and that was a long movie as well. That was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, the pacing on Infinity War was perfect.
The BVS Ultimate Cut was 3 hours as well, but
Oh my god, we're gonna get into that a few months from now. Okay, yeah.
I think that's going to be a very interesting podcast.
There's gonna be a lot of arguments. I'll just say that. And that's just into the first 3 DCEU movies.
Uh-huh.
And everything after that, I think, will be in agreement. But like those
Yeah.
first 3 movies of DCEU, that's gonna get ugly. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah. If you thought the Iron Man 3 discussion was split, nah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh yeah, just stay tuned for that BVS.
It's gonna get ugly.
Alex, I know this is kind of off topic here, but anybody DCM, anybody watching our stream right now?
I saw that one person was watching, but we haven't got any comments.
I couldn't tell who was watching because I saw there was one person.
One watching. No, it's probably just me, because I'm trying to keep a tab on if anybody comments, I don't want to miss them.
Okay.
It's happened before, like in the last couple ones we've done. Like somebody commented, and I missed, and I didn't notice till like an hour later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to mention? Positive?
I mean, like pretty much like you said, other little positives I can give, like some cool moments here and there, but I kind of I mainly touched on the big positives I say about the film. I would probably say, would you say Infinity War was still a better movie than this?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
I
I definitely agree. Yeah, I'm sure Rob would probably agree too.
Well, when we left the theater, I remember saying right away, I was like, it was good, but I liked Infinity War better. Like, that's what I thought. Like,
I feel the same way. I mean, do you guys' opinions change when you saw it the second time?
Oh,
for me,
I think I think everything kind of stayed the same. I think I might have even noticed more things that bothered me the second time. But I know when we left the theater, Rob was like, he was more positive about it. He's like, I think it was equal to Infinity War. But then when he saw it a second time, he was like, yeah. He's like, now that I think about it, he's like, he kind of like agreed that Infinity War was better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because like the first time I saw it, I thought it was really, really good. Because I just didn't really pay much attention to the details because it's opening weekend, it's really hyped up, and it's great. I left the theater happy, and the second time, but I did notice like my complaints, like when I mentioned my complaints in this stream so far, like they were pretty much the ones I thought about the first time I saw it on the opening weekend. When I saw it a second time, I paid more attention to the details, and I still felt the same way I did when I walked out of the theater the first time. The complaints were still there and things like that, but I definitely paid more attention to the details. But I still felt the same way that I did the first time. But if I would have to say, I'd probably say Infinity War was definitely a better movie than Endgame.
Yeah, this is the weakest Russo Brothers Marvel movie.
I know, and it's so hard to say because, man, like I loved the first 3 they directed. I mean, like great movies, don't have hardly any complaints about the first 3. And then it's like you get to the end game, and you're just like,
wow.
Well, the thing is, the finale is always so much is really hyped up,
and hard. So
yeah, it's really difficult because it is the final movie.
Yeah,
because you got to cram in a lot of stuff. Because this is you figure the end game is basically a whole arc of 22 movies in the MCU from 2008 to 2019. This is like a big build.
Oh, it's 21 according to them because they didn't mention the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's what's funny is Wikipedia mentioned a 22 film arc.
I know I'm the only one that's gonna at least in this chat right here that's complaining about that because I I think that movie's underrated, and I like the movie. It's a shame that they're treating it like a black sheep. It's pissing me off.
I'll just remind everyone that The Incredible Hulk has the lowest IMDb rating of the series.
Like,
Yeah.
So
what's the IMDb
And
rating?
it's the only Marvel the only MCU movie that didn't do well at the box office.
What's the IMDb rating? Like 7 point something.
6.8.
Oh, okay. That's not an awful rating, but
They portrayed him better in that movie than in Endgame.
See, what have we been saying this whole freaking time?
There, I will agree with you.
Alex Smash.
I really do think I do agree with when I look back at the Incredible Hulk from 08 with Edward Norton, I thought that Hulk. I kind of wish that version of the Hulk was in Endgame.
Yeah, that should have been.
Because, I'm not saying, the way they portrayed the Hulk in this, it's not Mark Ruffalo's fault. I mean, it wasn't his choice. But, and I like Mark Ruffalo. I thought he did good in the first Avengers. But, I just don't like the way the Russo brothers made Hulk. Because they kind of made Hulk into a comedic relief character. And that's not who Hulk is.
Yeah, they did that. They did a lot of that in Thor Ragnarok. That's when they switched the tones. In Ragnarok, they completely made him like a funny baby in that.
Hey, remember in Endgame when Hulk puts the gauntlet on for the first time and he's like, ah, 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 and then he's like, then they're like, are you okay? He's like, oh, I'm okay. Then when Iron Man puts on it, he's like this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Iron Man.
But he was wearing the suit, so I don't know. Maybe it was protecting his hand.
Oh yeah, because the suit's undestructible, right? Oh
Yeah.
no, it isn't.
Yeah. Barry Sue.
Healing factor.
Okay. I forgot about this moment. But the whole time jump, the part I liked about that was we kind of saw how people are trying to move on from losing people they care for, not just the Avengers, normal people. You had to kind of group therapy they had that Steve Rogers was in charge of.
Yeah.
And I like that moment where Ant-Man realizes he's been gone for 5 years, and then he sees his daughter and oh, she's all grown up, and I like that moment.
I agree. Yeah.
That was good dramatic moment. I think they needed a little bit more of that in the movie.
They could have focused on that.
Less comedy.
They could have focused on that more without the stupid time travel.
Yeah. They should have done that more than the time travel.
Yeah.
And one last thing about the time travel. I mean, it's just me, Rob, but it reminded me of that one episode of Power Rangers when they went back in time to get the seal crystals.
Oh yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. That's what I was thinking about. I wasn't even thinking about Back to the Future that much. I was thinking more about freaking Power Rangers when the Zeo crystals. Yeah, that was me. No one's made that connection.
How many DeLoreans were back there when Cap went back?
3.
4,608,000,000 whatever fucking Doctor Strange endings he said.
I still don't know how did he replace all the stuff? It just
He didn't.
he didn't.
So overall, it sounds like we didn't like this movie. But
It seems like we were kind of split on the movie, but
it sounds like yeah.
The thing is, we're the kind of people that we kind of delve more into the more specific details about the character.
We've always been that way.
Yeah, I mean,
I was shocked how many problems there was in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I nitpick movies to death all the time. It doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. I just like to point out things that, I just like to point things out in movies. But I mean, it was not. I don't think it was a bad film. Honestly.
No, it was not a bad film at all. I thought it was a good movie.
They're flying like a little gnat.
So,
What's going on over there?
Bug.
oh, it's a mosquito?
Moth.
There's like a little gnat in here.
Is it Ant-Man and Wasp?
Yeah, that's what it is, really.
Those damn bugs. But yeah, you guys mentioned this a bit earlier, but yeah, the movie has done gangbuster numbers.
Very well.
Record-breaking numbers, but yet still didn't beat Avatar.
It's made.
I want it to, but I don't think it's gonna. I mean, 7 million, but like, look how long it's been.
But whatever. I mean, Disney owns Avatar now, so who cares, right? It's like it's not. I don't know.
I just hate that Avatar is the #1 movie.
I just wish James Cameron would shut up about Avatar.
Foreigners, the foreign countries love blue people.
You know what?
All right, let's move on. I'm sick of talking about this.
No, before we move on, there was no after credit scene. Yet we all stayed for the credits.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
Everyone complained too.
You know why? Because everybody had to go to the bathroom. Literally, dude, when the movie was over, half of the crowd left, and they went really fast because I'm pretty sure they went to the bathroom. But yeah, the Stan Lee cameo, because this is his last cameo before he passed away. Because he's not in, he didn't appear in Far From Home. But yeah,
Whoa!
yeah.
Whoa! Is there ghosts over there? Yeah. There are ghosts.
Yeah. Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity H2O. Did you guys like the final Stanley cameo?
I'll be honest, it
would have been better.
I could care less about the Stanley cameos. If you only honest.
Oh, that's mean.
I like.
That's messed up, Dan.
Stanley's rolling over his feelings great.
I thought the trick was it Avengers Endgame where at the beginning had all the Stan Lee cameos put together.
Yeah, that was Captain Marvel.
That's Captain Marvel. See, that was I like
cool.
that. That was a nice tribute. But like when Stan Lee comes on in his cameo, I'm like, oh, there he is. I'm not like, yeah, Stan Lee.
You should be.
The crowd always cheers when he shows up.
Yeah, they did.
Because that was the kid, yeah.
Hey, if it wasn't for that man, we wouldn't have anything about.
No.
That's true. Just respect.
He did the comics, not these movies. So why doesn't he have?
That is true.
He should have the cameos.
Yeah, but if it weren't for for those comics, these movies wouldn't exist.
Well, why is Comic-Con not about comics anymore?
Yeah, it's about TV shows now.
And on top of that too, Alex, he was awesome in Mallrats, Stan Lee.
Yeah.
To answer your question, it was fine. His cameo was fine.
Yeah, if refresh his memory, it was like a hippie driving, and he was like, it was during the time travel scenes, like he passed.
Make love, not war.
Yeah, make love, not war. Like propaganda. But yeah.
I spent money to de-age him.
What?
Why can't they deep fake anybody?
They can't.
I know those deep fakes on YouTube look better than some of the stuff they do on.
You see Jim Carrey's Jack.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, we liked Endgame.
We did.
I'm not even sure anymore.
Yeah, overall, I liked it.
I liked it overall.
I liked it, but it sucked.
Good. Wasn't great. Good.
Okay, yeah, good, not great. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was a good movie, but I wouldn't say it was as good as like some of the other MCU Phase 3 movies.
You know what? I think people need to stop overhyping any movie.
How dare you talk about Rocky like that?
Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Screw Endgame, it's over. So yeah, 2 months later we got Spider-Man Far From Home.
Well, before we get to that, you want to give ratings like out of 10?
We don't even give it because we're just going to do the ranking later.
Oh, we're gonna do the rankings last. Okay.
How much did it get on IMDb? Since you mentioned that earlier.
It's got an 8.7. It's currently the highest ranked of every.
8.7?
Yeah.
Higher than both, all three?
That is way too high.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's fan service right there.
Stupid.
I think it deserves maybe at least like a 7 something.
Yeah.
Not like an 8.
How did I rethink? We were talking. Dan and I were talking about giving it like at least an 8. I don't know now.
No.
I'm thinking like a 7.5.
No. The highest I'll go with is 7.5.
Everything.
That's the
over.
highest.
I don't even know if I'm going to get it on Blu-ray. Maybe DVD. I don't know.
I'll wait for it to stream free.
On Disney Plus.
I'll find it at the Salvation Army.
Yeah, 5 years from now.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
now, let's move
Anyway,
on.
yeah,
Now,
How long have we been talking about this goddamn
Holy
movie?
like an hour and a half, and that was like, that's like over an hour of all the negatives.
I told you, just 2 movies.
All
Yeah.
right, God damn.
Yeah, just 2 movies this time. But yeah, we got Spider-Man: Far From Home just recently, 2 months
Yeah.
after Endgame.
Yep. Wrapping up. Phase 3.
You want to say overall thoughts in one sentence on this, and then we'll go into deep in.
Okay.
This is gonna be interesting because I think you guys are gonna be shocked at some of the things I'm gonna say with this movie. But go ahead.
I don't think I'm gonna be shocked at all.
So you loved it.
I really. Okay.
Good but not great.
I enjoyed
I agree.
the overall.
I agree.
Oh, extend that.
I
Good,
liked it better than Homecoming.
better Homecoming, but still not great. Yeah,
I do think it is better than Homecoming. I do agree.
Could have been better, but
I don't know if we. I don't know how we want to tear this apart. I mean, I know with Endgame we kind of all did it, and that's fine with me. I mean, it seems like an
first this time.
sorry. What?
All the positives first this time.
you put both 1 and 2 at the same.
I'm not sure where I'm going to put
Oh,
this,
okay.
so. Sorry, Alex. What was that?
You guys want to talk about the positives first this time?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do the positives.
Okay, I'll start first. Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio is the best thing about this movie, hands down. Don't even if it's not, then I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I question your taste. Not just kidding. But yeah, he's the just like Michael Keaton as Walter in Homecoming. He was the best part of that movie. This Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio was the best part of this movie, easily, hands down, no question. But yeah.
I'm thinking, Alex. I need to know if I agree with you.
Really, it's that hard?
Well, I'm trying to think if there was any other thing that stuck out.
I mean, what you guys think of Mysterio?
Yeah, I guess I would agree with you. On
Bubble
that.
Man.
What?
Bubble Man.
From Mega Man 2?
No. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal was Bubble Boy in the past. Now he's Bubble Man.
Oh, haha,
He's
good.
grown up. Yeah.
Thomas, what do you think? Do you agree with that?
When I think about like other aspects of the movie, I really do think Mysterio did steal the show.
See? I say.
I mean, granted, there's other aspects of it that I did like about the movie, but I think Mysterio
Me
was
too,
the
me too.
standout.
Yeah. I want to get into negatives so bad, but like, I want to hear you guys say.
I thought I liked the J. Jonah Jameson cameo, although I think people get confused that that's not the same JJ from the Tobey Maguire films. It's a different JJ.
It's an
but-
updated version, modern version of it.
Yeah, but I mean that's cool that they brought him in. I think if they bring him in for longer scenes like in the Tobey Maguire films, I think that'd be fantastic.
See, I knew he was gonna show up when I heard that J.K. Simmons was at the premiere. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, he's in it. He's in it. Like, yeah, I was just waiting for him to show up.
I thought Tobey Maguire was going to show up at the end, some multiverse thing.
Yeah, because
Which
they mentioned it, but they said that Mysterio's multiverse story was all bullshit. So,
And you know what? Okay, I'm going to throw this in as a positive real quick. I'm glad that they did not. That multiverse thing was made up. I really think
they can still do it though because there's time travel now.
No, yeah, I know they can still do it, but I'm glad that that was a ruse. And like, as of right now, like the universe that we all know is still the universe, because I just think it makes it too complicated. And I'm not I don't know. As far as the movies go, I mean, you know, I think it's okay when they do it comic books and everything, but that's why I think. And again, this is a little off topic. I question where DC is going to be going because that's where they're going with their movies. The Joker movie takes place in its own universe, and they're going to start splitting up the DCEU to continue like the Aquaman and Wonder Woman universe, but then also this other one. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm glad that they didn't go that route in this.
Okay.
movie.
Yeah. I knew it was a ruse the whole time because if you're familiar with the Mysterio character, you know he's a bad guy the whole time. But the reveal, even though I saw it coming, I mean, again, if you know Mysterio, you can see that coming. It was still done pretty well. I really liked that. Kind of took me by surprise the way it was handled. Like this character, the guy from the box of scraps scene, he's in this team. Like, oh shit! Like, I like the connection.
Like from Iron Man or
yeah.
Like callback.
So like, was that the only real flashback though? Was from Iron Man 1? Like when he was going through the other characters, we didn't see any of them in the other movies, right?
No, but he said like they were in you know, somewhere in the background. You know what I mean?
Right, but like when they showed Jake Gyllenhaal in Iron Man's flashback, he wasn't really there in the.
No.
What I mean is like when they showed that Iron Man scene, that was an actual scene ripped from Iron Man.
Yeah.
Did they do that for any of the other characters, or were the rest of them all like made up?
They were made up for this movie.
Okay, it would have been cool if they would have been able to like somehow implement scenes from the other ones, like actually from there. But
yeah, Incredible Hulk.
There's that one right there.
And Lee's Hulk.
Okay, no. My son is unique.
You know what though? In Mysterio's team, he should have had Kat Dennings.
Or Nick.
She would never go with him.
I mean, she was. She knows all the stuff, right?
Rob, what do you have any of the we're talking about positives from
Mysterio?
Yeah, I thought they got Mysterio right. I like some of the stuff they did with the trickery that I mean, it was obvious that he was a villain because
I only knew he was a villain because everyone told me like he's a villain in the comics.
Yeah. I like the way they handled it. I thought Spider-Man in the suit I thought he was portrayed better in this than Homecoming. I thought he had more to do. I actually liked the friends this time. The whole school thing I thought was more interesting this time around. The whole thing with him and MJ I thought was fine, better than the first movie. This movie is like a leap forward from the first. It just, to me, I felt like it. Even though my favorite is still Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
I think this one was a good representation of him. Like, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I do like how they explain the time jump, though. In the beginning.
Yeah, that was one thing. You know what? That's why I didn't mention it when we're talking about Endgame, because that was a problem when I first saw Endgame. But when they mentioned it in Far From Home, they kind of fixed that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
Like the whole half of the school was gone.
I thought this movie, like, it was more grounded as a Spider-Man film. Like, I don't know. I liked it.
Okay. I will say I kind of agree with you about the classmates. They were a little bit better in this movie, especially MJ. I thought she was more likable.
She wasn't weird.
Yeah, I mean, because we finally got to know like how she really is. She's not doing the whole like I'm edgy and weird and shit stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually acting like a normal person.
I still don't like Flash though.
Yeah, he sucks.
Oh God, yeah.
But like the whole thing when like Ned and Betty, right?
His girlfriend.
That whole thing went on for too long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just to get some scenes going, but I mean, I thought that all that stuff went somewhere. Like instead of in Homecoming, I didn't feel like anything was going anywhere. Like with any of the characters, like they go to a dance, big fucking deal. Like I thought, in this movie, like they were on a trip, they were going here, they're going there. I thought everything flowed nicely. But
well, on top of that too, Far From Home was more of a bigger stage than Homecoming, because Homecoming was kind of more of a lower, like a laid back, low down version of a Spider-Man movie, where this one is put more on a grander scale than Homecoming.
I will say though, Tom Holland, like I do like him, but after seeing, I just rewatched some clips from The Amazing Spider-Man and then Tobey Maguire. I still think Tobey plays a better Peter Parker, and I think Andrew Garfield plays a better Spider-Man.
Right.
Like if they just fuse those together, that would be awesome.
They did in Civil War.
In Civil War, yes, that's right. That's what's so different about it. Like that's the Russos handling them, but
yeah. I think the Russos should Spider-Man.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick.
Okay.
Spider-Man comes back home. If that's what the third movie is called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back.
But
one thing that I did like about the film was I liked the location. I thought it was a good change of pace to take it overseas.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That would be something I felt like that gave it a fresh spin as far as the locations go. That was something I did notice that I did enjoy.
Yeah, because like the scenery with London and Italy was really nice. It's like it was cool to go there. Like it looks nice the way they portrayed it in the movie. You don't really see that in like these kind of movies, comic book films, because all these they're always being destroyed, but there wasn't really being destroyed this time. It was all an illusion. And but speaking of the illusions, like visually, like that. Okay, my favorite scene in the whole movie was when Mysterio was messing with Peter's mind, and he was going from illusion to illusion, and you see the Iron Man. That was cool. I will say, like, missed opportunity though. They should have showed Uncle Ben in that sequence.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this late in the movies, I think it might be a mistake to bring him in because I don't think we would really feel a connection at this point.
But you know what though?
They don't really
in a way, Tony Stark is his Uncle Ben.
Yeah, he pretty much is his guardian.
So at this point, I think now, not that this movie's come out and there was no mention of Uncle Ben, I think it is too late now.
Right.
It is. I mean, I think this is the
Now,
last one. But
I want to ask you a question real quick, Alex, and Rob and Dan, this is for you guys too. But when you're talking about Mysterio, when you compare him to Michael Keaton's Vulture, who would you say was probably the better villain of the two? Would you say Mysterio is your favorite or Vulture? Because figure they were both the standouts of each movie.
That's a hard one.
I would pick Vulture, honestly. I just think Michael Keaton came off a lot more sinister, and I like that. Even though, and it was, I mean, it's kind of opposite because Vulture was a very sinister character, but then by the end, he kind of got some sympathy. Whereas in this movie, I felt like Mysterio, he kind of seemed like a guy that wouldn't go that far, but then he did go that far in the end.
And also, too, like, do you feel like when you watch the trailer for Far From Home, did you feel like they were kind of making it look like Mysterio was a good guy?
yeah, but I knew it was all.
That was the
Yeah,
point.
we talked about that.
Because like when I saw that trailer, I'm thinking to myself, are they really making Mysterio a good guy? Because that's stupid. Like he's not a good guy.
Yeah, I knew they wouldn't do that.
That's what I was. And then when I saw the movie, I'm like, okay, good. Thankfully, he's not a good guy. Because that's like one thing I can give credit for the trailer is because they made it look like Mysterio was going to be a good guy. Because you never know what they're going to do. Movies because movies tend to do things differently. But I'm glad that's not the case because I like the fact that Mysterio was a bad guy, and I think Jake Gyllenhaal. This was great as Mysterio. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. He's been in a lot of movies I've loved over the years. It was really cool to see him, in an MCU movie. And I know, Jake Gyllenhaal was thrown around. I don't know if you've heard.
For Spider-Man, he was going to be Spider-Man.
Well, not only that, but I remember when they were recasting Batman before Batman Begins, Gyllenhaal was one of the choices they wanted for Batman.
Yeah.
Before Christian Bale, but you know, Jake. But it was just cool to see Gyllenhaal in a comic book movie. Because Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't really do movies. Has never really done a movie like a comic book movie. He's Donnie Darko and Enemy and Brothers. I mean, these other movies, I really do think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as Mysterio. But going back to what I was asking Dan, if I had
better villain,
if I had to pick between Mysterio and Vulture, I love them both for different reasons, but I probably say my favorite is Vulture because it was just cool to see Michael Keaton as a villain in a superhero movie because you figure he was Batman back in '89 and '92 when Batman Returns. But it was just cool to see him back again in a superhero movie, but this time as the bad guy. And I think Michael Keaton, granted, the Vulture, it was not really a common villain for a Spider-Man movie because he was kind of like a joke, but I think the way they made Vulture was pretty badass. They made him like an arms dealer, selling things on the black market with weapons and things like that. And I think I think Michael Keaton just plays it off so well because when you look at Michael Keaton is a guy who can do a lot of different things. He can do comedy, he can do drama and things like that. And he's got such great range to him. And, Michael Keaton as the Vulture was just such a great casting choice. He was sinister, but at the same time, you felt sympathy for him at the end. But no disrespect to Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio because I thought he was great as well. But easily I pick Vulture out of the two Spider-Man movies as the main villain I would pick.
Yeah. For me, I didn't get a chance to answer the question, but for me, I will say just how the way the characters were portrayed in the movies. I will say Vulture is the more interesting villain. The way he was done in Homecoming, in comparison to Mysterio. But because his story, it just seems like okay, I can buy that this guy would do the things they do a little bit more. Where Jake Gyllenhaal seems he has to be a little bit crazy to do what he does.
Yeah, that's why.
What if he wasn't crazy? What if he was normal? He probably wouldn't do this. But Jake Gyllenhaal sold it for me though.
He really did. Yeah.
In the bar scene, his whole speech, that was okay. I'm this guy's pretty dangerous. Mind.
I don't like Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I think Michael Keaton was the best thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like both villains, and they're kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to pick because they're so different, like Thomas said. But I think they were both portrayed really good. So, but I would personally, I pick Vulture just because it's Michael Keaton, and
I think that's what it comes down to.
I think he just made a performance like that scene where he's like, "If you mess with me, I'm going to kill you and your whole family." Like that. That was enough right there. I just think he was so good. So I would pick Vulture.
And his voice when he says that is just so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which he was actually doing that when they're filming Homecoming. He kept saying I'm Batman, just for fun and all that stuff. Okay. Any more positives? I'll say the action scenes were better than Homecoming.
I disagree.
Yeah, I do agree because it was a much more.
To be honest, Homecoming, I can't. Homecoming doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't really have any memorable action scenes. The only ones that I remember is him on the plane and then Vulture flying around. There's the ship part, but that's not really nothing really happened there. I would say for me, the action scene at the end of Far From Home really, I guess, takes it all for me.
Well, the thing is with me, I agree with what Alex said. I really do think there are better action set pieces within Far From Home than Homecoming because Homecoming was really kind of more of a low down, a laid back kind of Spider-Man movie. This one is much more on a grander scale. It's much more bigger. They're in Europe. It's not like in home at a it's not like at a school, but and this one is at Europe, and it's much more bigger, and there's more to do because Europe's a pretty big place, but there's more to do with the set, and I really do think there are better action pieces in this than Homecoming. Not to say like the ones in Homecoming were bad. I mean, there were some good ones, like Rob said. The plane part which is easily the best action piece in the movie, but there were better action parts in this movie.
No, but I want to hear what Dan said because he said he disagrees.
Well, yes. So, not what I mean by better action sequences is I had more problems with the action sequences in Far From Home than I did from Homecoming, and that's why I say that. The two that stand out to me in particular was the final scene. Let me first say that the virtual fight scene in Far From Home, that was a good fight scene, and that was memorable. I liked it. That was that was the best scene in the movie as far as that thing goes. Like the end of the movie, as I was watching it, I was like, okay, how is Spider-Man dodging all these bullets? But they're bullets. He doesn't have super speed. And there was like 1,000 drones shooting at him. And so that it was just like too unrealistic for me. I was just like, he shouldn't be able to dodge. Like if there was like 50 of them shooting at him, I could believe that. But there was like 1,000 of them, and he was being able to dodge the bullets, and they were all firing. I was just like, well, how is he doing that? Like, it doesn't matter if he has a Spidey sense; they're bullets.
Well, let me interrupt a minute. That is a power he has in the comics. Let me just go to the comics. Like some of the comics I've read, I know he's able to do that. He does that actually in Sam Raimi's. I forgot which one it was. Where
he does it in both in Sam Raimi's movies.
Like when he shoots those things and they explode, and then there's like all that stuff coming at him, and he's able to like dodge. That's just.
Those were those blades.
Right. But there were like hundreds. And I understand bullets are smaller, but that is a spider sense power he has. So I think that's how they stepped it up for this one. I mean, yeah, it doesn't sound realistic, but I mean that's one of his powers.
Well, I honestly can't think of in the Sam Raimi ones where he was dodging like hundreds.
No, man, hundreds. Like he was dodging stuff like that.
When those balls exploded, like all those things came out of it, and he was
stuff.
Yeah, I remember the slow motion scenes, and like then he got hit in the arm. Remember?
He did get hit. Yeah.
So then he bled.
He was trying to punch him. He was trying to punch him away, and then one got him.
First machine gun drones. It was like 1,000 of them firing, and he's like dodging them.
To be fair,
it
was
personally. What?
To be fair, it was a bike messenger that got him.
The bike. No. So then.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Okay, so it also, and I guess I'm delving deep into to explain this next scene. I have to go into something else that bothered me. But when him and Mysterio are fake fighting like the elementals,
right?
Now at that point, we didn't know that they were fake. Okay,
that was before the reveal.
Right. So I was still in my mind before knowing that they were fake. I'm thinking, what? How is Spider-Man even gonna? How can he even do anything? If you think about those fight scenes, all he's doing is dodging them and like shooting webs that don't do anything against the so it's like, okay, like how are you help? Like what I mean is he can help by like, remember how he saved the church steeple? Remember he held that and he got people away. That's fine. Like I was okay with that, but like as far as like. This comes down to me, and I'm going to bring up the Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi trilogy. The reason I think those work better is because he was fighting villains that were on his level. Like when you think about Spider-Man 2 and like the Doc Ock, they had like 3 fight scenes in the movie, and they're all memorable. And it's because it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In this movie, it was like, okay, the elementals was like, what can he do to these things? They're like way out of his league. This is before. This was before you knew that they were fake. So I was just like, that's what was going through my mind. So I'm just like, how is he like I mean, why is he doing this? You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the point, though. I mean, that like not to interrupt you, but I think that was the point because in the comics he has problems with it. Like that's one of the things I didn't like about the movie is that they didn't address that was Hydro Man and Molten Man, and he does fight him in the comics and he has hard times. And that's why he uses his brilliance to defeat him. Like with Molten Man, he'll figure out a way to maybe freeze him somehow by using technology. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they didn't do that in this movie. But yet he was fighting them and not really helping out. But I can see where what he says about that. But I also see the point that this was his first time going against them. So, he would be kind of, I guess, overwhelmed, I guess, not knowing what to do.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it goes into my biggest problem with the movie. But before I go into that, the beginning when you see Nick Fury and what the hell is your name? Maria Hill?
Hill, yeah.
Yeah. And they see was that supposed to that was like a nod to Sandman, right? That illusion?
Yeah, the sand monster.
Yeah, that was Sandman. Like, okay, that was cool. But my biggest issue is you already mentioned what's Spidey doing in these fights even before the reveal. Yeah, why would Shield get him? Why would they recruit him this mission?
Yeah, that was but I mean
because there was no one left.
But what can Spider-Man even do? I mean, they think this is real. They think this is an actual event that are going to be. He can't do anything.
I understand that, but he's not completely useless.
Yeah, but to me, it's just it's convenient. Oh, Doctor Strange is busy. Captain Marvel's busy. Thor is they had how many heroes in the Endgame? No one's available, just Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know, and I agree. I agree with you, but for plot for movie purposes, it's a Spider-Man movie. Obviously, they had him in there. But yeah, I had the same thought. But I understand why they had him.
That's just an issue with having Spider-Man.
Those are Spider-Man villains, though. It wouldn't be right to have Captain Marvel fight a Spider-Man villain. You know what I'm saying?
Shield think this is a world-ending situation, and
well, I mean but that was the whole trick, though.
Well,
and it's not.
Alex, you bring me to that goes to another problem I had with the movie was that in Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man is all about being Spider-Man. He wants to step up and be Spider-Man. Yeah. And Iron Man's like, no, you're not ready. And then this movie, he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. He's like, oh, I just want to have a vacation.
I have a vacation, yeah.
It was kind of like an opposite.
That's what they did in Spider-Man 2.
Right. Okay, Thomas, what do you think about these problems that we're having?
Oh, 1 second.
Yeah, it's a fucking eat right now.
Let me. Oh, sorry. Thomas is eating. Maybe this is because I'm older now. I mean, I'm 40, but I didn't there was so much high school stuff. I don't know. I feel like maybe because I'm not around that age anymore, I didn't connect as well. And that's not to the movie. I'm not saying that had anything to do with the movie being wrong. That was just me maybe having a hard time because I felt like there was jokes that did not land in this movie. I thought sometimes the comedy, there was good comedy in the movie, but some of it wasn't great. I thought it felt forced.
That's what I felt about Homecoming. That's exactly what I felt about Homecoming.
Yeah.
I think I felt that way for both movies.
Yeah. I definitely more misses in the comedy. I mean,
I feel like any movie that came after Endgame was gonna have a hard time because you're just like, holy crap. Well, think about remember Ant-Man came out after Avengers
Infinity War?
Yeah, Ant-Man 2 came out after Avengers Infinity War, and I remember people being like, oh, they're like, oh, it's a palate cleanser, keep it simple, and I feel like that's what they had to do with this movie, and I know probably you're all gonna disagree with me on this, but I feel like Spider-Man in 1 and 2 has suffered because of the reliance of Iron Man.
I actually agree with that.
I feel like, but here's the thing: they had to do it, especially for this movie, because it doesn't matter. Whatever movie was going to come out after Avengers 4, whatever movie they were going to have to address what happened in Endgame. They had to. Well, I feel like that hurt. Any movie that's going to be next was going to hurt it, and so it was like I want to see a Spider-Man movie where it's just it focuses on him and him trying to just accomplish things and not have to worry about like the other things going on not related.
The Sam Raimi movies.
Well, I think that this new movie though, he really didn't rely on Iron Man, obviously because he was.
No, he relied on Shield.
They brought it up like a ton of times, which they kind of had to.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that slowed him down as a character though. Like, I think he still was able to. That's why I think he was more Spider-Man in this movie than he was in Homecoming.
To me, I just like
in Homecoming, he was trying to prove himself.
Okay, I'm sorry. But I go even deeper with that. What Dan just said about like him relying on Iron Man. It's just like the fact that this Spider-Man is a part of the MCU. Although so many things are going on at the same time, it loses to me. And I guess this is my biggest problem with both of these movies. It loses what made Spider-Man special and as a character when he was all on his own. You know, little guy, underdog. It's like kind of like it loses some of that, and that's why I think like the Sam Raimi movies will always hold up in a lot of people's hearts, like because those movies like Spider-Man, like solo movies, like I don't know, it's kind of like it's a like kind of like a how do I put this? It's a defect into this giant universe. Like it loses the specialness of a solo film.
Well, that's what when I meant when you talk about like when Rob was mentioning about Spider-Man 2. I mean, that's like when you look at the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Like I said before, I agree with what Dan said. He was going up against technically in Spider-Man 3, he was going up against two villains, it's not one, but
3 villains, 3
or 3. You want to count New Goblin in the beginning, but the reason why I grew up with Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans is because
you're little.
Because not only that, because but because they're simple. I think the way Tobey Maguire portrays Spider-Man, he it's one-on-one. And he's by himself. He doesn't help. He doesn't have any help from anybody. Like he's by himself.
Yeah.
Going against Green Goblin and Doc Ock and things like that. He's by himself, and and on top of that too, I agree with what Dan said before, and about Far From Home is like the way his character arc changed. Like it took a 360 turn, where in Homecoming he was really eager to help people as Spider-Man, like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Helping out people and stopping the criminals and things like that. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But in Far From Home, he's not like that. Like he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. While in the first one, he is.
It's because of the Endgame, though. That's why he feels that way.
Yeah.
It's like
you have to
movie. He's more enthusiastic about being Spider-Man and helping out people. In the second one, he's not like that at all.
Again, he's on vacation. Running his vacation.
He's Die Hard 5.
You can't really blame him though, because he's just a kid. Like I said, he wants to be. They did that in Spider-Man 2. So
yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's not a big deal. But
I'll never forget the thing that out of Spider-Man 2, raindrops keep falling on my head, and then the freeze frame.
A little cheesy, but it's still kind of.
Let me ask you guys this: again, this was not something that I didn't think about this, and then people were bringing this up online, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of strange. But like, did you think it made sense that Tony Stark would put Peter Parker in charge of all those weapons?
It's kind of thinking like, well, he trusts Peter because Peter has a good heart and he's a good kid, whereas like all these other people like Shield may have an agenda. He doesn't really trust. I think that's the point of why he chose Peter. But at the same time,
I would have given it to Rhodey.
That is true. You got a good point there. Why didn't you fucking give it to Rhodey? Or Pepper or Happy.
Because we saw when Spider-Man got a hold of it, remember he almost killed that kid.
Yeah, Rhodey would be. He still has a suit, so
yeah,
he should.
But again, I guess
Tony.
point, it totally makes sense because obviously
Some
he
best
needed
friend,
help.
right? Some friend he is.
Right.
But it's funny you bring that up. It's good that you bring it up because Peter Parker in this movie is a fucking idiot. Oh, first of all, when he gives the thing to Mysterio, okay, you think he's a good guy. You barely know him, whatever. But you think, okay, and then it's revealed that half of the bar is an illusion. But Peter didn't know that, so he's sitting there drinking with Mysterio in a Spider-Man suit, and everybody sees him. What happened to your secret identity? Isn't that a big deal?
Was he in the Spider-Man suit?
He was in the stealth suit. He was in the black stealth suit.
Yeah, but that was in the news.
That's true.
As the what they call it?
Oh,
the
Black
gorilla
Monkey or
monkey or
something?
something like that.
Spider Monkey.
Dark Monkey.
Something monkey or something like that.
That was stupid. But yeah, like okay. And then when he was messing around with the drones, accidentally using one to attack that one student that caught him with his pants down, literally.
Right.
Oh my god, that scene I didn't mind that scene at all.
Well, Alex, on those 2 points, I will say he is just a kid, so I could see.
Yeah, but come on.
Because the kids are trustworthy, man. He would definitely be. Peter does see the good in people, so like I could see him totally being like, "Oh yeah, you're the greatest person."
Yeah, but at the same time, like Tobey Maguire. At the same time, Tobey Maguire in the first movie, technically he was a kid. I mean, he just come out of high school and he wasn't doing shit like that.
He's a 30-year-old kid.
Like, he was very careful. He was very careful. That's the whole point of Spider-Man. He was always tries to be as careful as possible, not to reveal his identity. And then, you know what though? Like everybody in this movie, in this universe, should know Peter Parker's Spider-Man because he makes so many mistakes. It's like, come on, like it's like nobody sees him jumping on top of the bus and destroying that drone. Like nobody fucking saw that. I mean,
well, no one saw him jumping out of the bus in Infinity War.
I never liked that.
True. That is true. I mean, Stan Lee saw it, but
Off the side.
Like the car behind that should have been like, oh look.
Yeah. I always thought that. I'm like, wait a minute.
You know what pisses me off the most about Far From Home though is they did a Transformer situation. Okay, they took bad guys, big Spider-Man villains, and they didn't even acknowledge who they were. Now, if you go to Walmart, you'll see the toys. Oh, look, that's Molten Man, that's Hydro Man, and they're big Spider-Man villains. In this movie, it's like, okay, they're an illusion, but they just threw him in there like, oh, look at this is an elemental. Oh, he's made of water, and this is, it's like I hated how they did that. Like,
I mean, you could have, you could have seen when Mysterio names them, like when he's talking to Nick Fury,
yeah,
and Peter Parker, like explaining, like maybe he gives him the name, like it should have been him.
It should have been just like, just focus on one, or just save it for another thing, like Hydro Man. He's hard because he's made of water, and Spider-Man has a tough time with him. But it's like that's the point. Like they just crammed all that into one movie. I really did not like that. I didn't like how they had Molten Man and Hydro Man, and like then that Sandman thing that they had. Like that was just put that in there as a reference. Like
Yeah.
How
So
about the fact that
they reused the villain, like they used Sandman again this time.
How about the fact that the whole movie that wasn't even Nick Fury?
Yeah.
You know what though? It's funny you say that because that was actually an issue I had throughout the movie. Like, why does Nick Fury just look bored? Yeah, I honestly like, why is Samuel Jackson phoning in this performance? And then like when they revealed it that wasn't Nick Fury, that was the fucking guy from the Kroll.
Yeah, it's Hill.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's why he wasn't really acting like himself. Like, I noticed that something weird about him. So I was like, okay. But at the same time, it's S.H.I.E.L.D. still running that mission. Yet they still would believe that Mysterio's a good guy. They were tricked themselves.
So something must be going on. The reason why Nick Fury is probably close to where Captain Marvel is, because there's something going on that he had to leave the Skrulls in charge.
He was on vacation as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that was just like a little thing. I can't think of any other issues. Oh yeah, one issue. Okay. Oh my god, this just like them just doing something different with these characters that I just don't like. And this thing with Aunt May. Why is she okay with him being Spider-Man? She really acts like it's no big deal. She never was worried about him. Nothing. She don't give a fuck.
After the snap, here's the thing. But are you talking about after Homecoming? Because after the snap, things would seem weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but he's still
after,
good.
I'm saying after Homecoming, when she first sees it, she's like, "What the?" And then we don't hear anything.
Was she snapped away too, or
Yeah,
not?
she was. She said she was.
Okay, so for that, so the 5 years that they lost, it was like no time for them, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, after Homecoming, that's when she found out, and it's like, what happened? Like after Homecoming, what? It's like, hey, oh, you're Spider-Man. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go out and be Spider-Man. Dodge. She even jokes about him dodging bullets. Like, okay, he's the only family you got. You should be worried. Okay.
I like Marissa Tomei, but I don't know. I just don't really care.
It really did not do anything with their character.
She's not old enough for one thing.
She started having gray hair.
Yeah.
As the OG Aunt May will say, shame on you.
Finish it.
She would be ashamed of this, Aunt May. Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn.
A gas.
Guest. Again, welcome home, Harry.
Harry.
You know that actor died after that movie, don't you?
Yeah,
he saw the movie.
There's so many problem with his lines. He's the only one that couldn't get his lines right.
Poor guy. He saw the movie and he saw the scene in the theater, and that's when that made him pass away.
It was your father's lone blade.
Yeah.
And as Rob would say in that video, you know, if I was Harry, I'd be like, "You're fired." I'd kick that old man out on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have.
It was actually a few years. It was a few years after Spider-Man 3 came out. It wasn't the same year. He didn't die when he saw it.
I remember when Rob ranted on Spider-Man 3. He always did. I remember he did that. He did it twice. He was like, "Take on this."
Harry had a burnt face.
It was two-faced.
Well.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like really, Aunt May, you don't care about your nephew.
We'll never have a good Spider-Man ever again. It's like everything's ruined now. Everything.
No, it's just like I really had that. I really had issue with that. Like, really, you don't care? I mean, didn't Peter say in Homecoming, like, I can't let her know that I'm Spider-Man because everything she's been through. Uncle Ben's dead. Like, okay, he's the only family she's got, and she doesn't care that he could die.
Hey, you know what? Why didn't if they would have done this in the movie, it would have fixed my 1,000 bullets problem. When Spider-Man Happy's plane and he was creating a new Spider-Man suit, why didn't he just bring the Iron Spider-Man suit again?
You know what?
That thing was bullets.
Yeah, sure. You're right. You got a point. I actually thought he was gonna get the classic suit from like the Raimi film or something.
The only thing I can think of with that is that they saved the Iron Spider suit for the Avengers movies, and since this is a Spider-Man movie, they probably wanted him to have the classic, because of how fans are. Like, oh, I don't like the suit. They gotta have the classic suit.
That's true. I wish he had the classic suit from Homecoming, the hand-stitched one.
Andrew Garfield one. How about that?
Yeah, the one that's like a basketball.
Yep.
Yeah. I know it would have been funny if they had all the suits from the other movies, the Raimi films and the Mark Webb films. Like right there, like an Easter egg. It would have been nice. Just saying. No, that's too early 2000s for me. But yeah, I mean, did you guys have any other problems? Oh, okay. First of all, no. Let me ask you this: am I the only one who feels that way about the whole anime not caring about Peter?
It didn't occur to me, but when you bring it up, I understand. I mean, yeah, if you had one loved one
We need
they
closure.
were fighting crime, you would probably always be like, oh, make sure you're this, make sure you're that. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
So-
yeah, I did pick up on that. What Alex is saying, definitely.
Right.
I never thought of it at all, but when you bring it up, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you put some thought into it, you can definitely see it.
It didn't affect my viewing of the movie, though.
It did me. Yeah, and Happy Hogan loves her. Okay, sure. Why not? Make that a spin-off show.
Yeah, like I felt that
I
that
hit
kind
on
of
her
just
too.
that seemed forced.
Yeah, so
Like out there to get. I think it was just a reason to keep. I don't know, just something to give them to do. Because yeah, Aunt May had nothing really to do. So.
nothing. No wise words, nothing. No advice.
There's nowhere to go from here. Everything's done. Everything, like, where do we go now?
Well, now they should do the Spider-Man versus the Vulture team.
Sinister.
Yeah, what happened with that? I mean, they might do that with, I guess, the next one.
Well, I don't know how many he's slated to do, Tom Holland. I think, is it like one more or?
I think it's one more. One more Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way this movie ends with, like, he's the most hated man in the world.
But now everyone knows who he is.
Let me ask you guys this, because so I thought Mysterio died at the end, but
He's dead.
see, that's what I thought, but people are saying that's not the case.
Was it an illusion?
I don't know how they could have. Yeah, like how would they have done that?
No,
'Cause they
he
did it
recorded. He recorded a video of him saying, "Oh, Spider-Man's Peter Parker," and he's trying to kill me or whatever. And then like
One of his guys was downloading that data before the.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, so
But
maybe.
people are like, "Oh, was it an illusion?" And I thought our Spider-Man, I thought made sure it wasn't an illusion, because when he was looking at his body, he was like, "Is this real?" And like the computer in his head was like,
is this real life?
they were like, he was like, all illusions have been shut down. So how could he?
Yeah.
That's the plot hole.
But people are like, "Oh, he could come back." I'm like,
It is Marvel. You never know. It's like a streaming service on Mysterio.
Yeah.
Come back.
well, there you have it, folks.
That's phase 3. All of them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's nothing else. You know.
We have almost double the amount in phase 3. 6 films phase 1, 6 films phase 2, 11 films phase 3.
Whew! That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wondering about Far From Home, it has an 8.0 on
Yeah.
That's too high.
That's higher than Civil War.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's new.
Civil
Whenever
War.
a new movie comes out, the rating is
Still.
always high.
What's Civil War? 7.7?
7.8.
Man, that's higher than.
Oh, that's okay. One thing, I feel like Spider-Man didn't do enough quips in this movie.
Oh, you mean like how he acts with the suit on, like the sarcastic stuff? he
Yeah,
does?
yeah. I felt that was lacking in this movie.
That's one thing I will give you, Alex. Is that I that's what I do like about the Amazing Spider-Man film, is that he did a good job doing those quips as
Yes.
Spider-Man.
You, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Andrew Garfield, so screw him.
First one, I'm not watching the second one. I'm gonna pretend they don't exist.
The second one is like Batman Forever.
Wow, oh my god.
Yeah. So it's good.
Do you like the circus? Tell me, Doctor.
I forgot my birthday.
Yeah, your my birthday.
Oh yeah, that line is cringy. I'll admit.
I'm Jamie Foxx.
All right, are we gonna rate these or what?
Yeah. But overall thoughts on.
I say overall for Far From Home, I thought it was better than Homecoming. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I probably say for me, I would say for me, I probably put this on the same level as Endgame. Maybe.
Really?
Well, it's kind of close because they like both films do have their share of problems. Like when I think about it, because it's kind of hard for me to choose between which one because each film does have their share of little minor problems here and there, and some major problems here and there as well. But I would say compared to both Spider-Man movies, I probably say it's better than Homecoming, but I still say Endgame is still a little bit above notches above this one. But I would say it's probably I wouldn't say Far From Home is as good as some of the other Phase 3 movies. I do think some of the other Phase 3 films are better than Far From Home. But overall I thought it was a good movie, but and definitely better than Homecoming.
What's better, Spider-Man 3 or Far From Home?
Far From Home.
Too easy.
Spider-Man 3, to me, Spider-Man 3 is still the worst Spider-Man movie.
It is. It really is. That's too easy.
Yeah, it's easy. I know a lot of people would disagree, but
Alex, what did you say was better?
Far From Home.
Far From Home is better than 3?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's not even close. Not even close.
There's no contest.
But at the same time,
there are some things that were done better in Spider-Man 3, though.
there are good things in Spider-Man 3. The way when Sandman first is born, the whole sequence with the music and
and his daughter.
Yeah, that's it. If you see that scene just by itself, oh my god, that's a well directed scene. That. It kind of Sam Raimi's a good director. It's crappy script and all whatever.
It was a really night.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question, honestly.
What?
That's a hard. I came up with a hard question.
I think I need this. I need to see Far From Home another time to give it a fair.
Okay. What about this? Far From Home or Venom?
I never saw Venom.
You never saw Venom?
No.
I picked Far From Home.
I wasn't interested in it at all, really.
It's funny. I'll just say that.
I trust Rob's opinion on that one, so I'm not even gonna.
I'll say it's a stupid movie. It doesn't make any sense, but it's funny.
Could have been rated R.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so bad it's good kind of movie.
It looked like the shit I took last night.
Yeah. So, are we gonna rate Phase 3?
No.
Okay, bye.
All right, I'm out of here.
Gotta go.
Overall, we all thought Far From Home was good, but not great, right?
I gotta take a dump.
Yeah.
I liked Endgame better, but it's still. I thought Spider-Man 2.
I would go as far as to say I thought Far From Home was okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna say it's an improvement of Homecoming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but I agree for that, but I still don't think it's great.
I wouldn't say it's great, no, but it's an
No,
improvement.
I wouldn't say it's great at all. I think it's good, but I wouldn't say it's great.
The recent.
It's a good movie, but I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece like the best Spider-Man ever. I still think that's Spider-Man.
The recent ones, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse is a better one. I do agree.
What's that part of this phase? Is it now? I haven't seen it.
It's a Spider-Man movie, right? Yeah.
True.
It's way better than.
I need to see it. I've heard so many good things about it.
It's good. Oh my, you still haven't seen that shit? No.
It's on Netflix for free. I should watch it.
Yeah. Go watch it. And then you'll think, oh shit, Far From Home was sucked. In comparison. But yeah, our rankings. We're finally gonna rank Phase 3.
Yeah, this has been a longly anticipated phase, people. This has been a long journey.
11 movies.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go first. I got
how are we gonna do this?
Best to worst, worst to best, whichever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So, I think it would be cooler. Maybe we should all go down the list together.
Okay.
Like not one person just does everything. Like we all start at 20, then we all go 19, we all go 18.
No, we're just ranking Phase 3. We're not ranking the whole freaking.
No, that's what I mean though.
Okay.
But Oh, we can do it.
11 films, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with 11 and then go down to 1.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
fine.
Do that together.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go first in 11? Number 11. This is number 11, guys.
Number 11.
Let Thomas go.
Okay, I'll go first. I say for me, for 11, I'd probably go Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Because, you know, I wouldn't say, because, like, I don't know if we mentioned this in, like, in the other live stream. I think it was, like, part 6 when we did the other ones. We covered, like, Captain Marvel and things like that. I think I remember saying that Ant-Man and the Wasp was not really one of the memorable ones out of Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of one of the more to the side ones.
That's why we only talked to her for like 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. I say
Ant-Man.
not to say, like, you know, not to say Ant-Man and the Wasp was bad. I think it's good, but I still say it's probably my least watched movie of the Marvel Phase 3 movies. So I probably say Ant-Man and the Wasp is number 11.
Okay.
At least like okay.
All right.
You want to go next, Alex, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll go next. My number 11. This shouldn't be a shocker. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just okay. I mean, we talked about it to death when we talked about the other Phase 3 movies, but yeah. Vulture was easily the best thing about the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like the action scenes didn't stand out for me, and the story was just alright. So
Yeah.
it loses the special thing about Spider-Man where he's all on his own, and it's like, oh, you know, it is what it is. I mean, Tom Holland is good. I like him, but his solo movies are not great, in my opinion. That's all I got to say.
Go since you're the smart one.
Mine is the same as Alex. Spider-Man: Homecoming. You know how I feel.
You like the less than me.
Like the what?
You like the less than me.
Less than you?
Yeah, I remember you said you didn't like it much at all. You pretty much ranted on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 11 is Captain Marvel.
You're a misogynist.
My bottom 3, I had to really think about like what order, but when I think of Captain Marvel,
yeah, it was the same thing with me.
Yeah, like when I think of Captain Marvel, okay. When I think of the comedy, I can't think any time that I thought something was overly comedic or like I laughed out loud or that was funny. I feel like the action scenes weren't that memorable. The third act especially bothered me because I felt like, and I get that how powerful Captain Marvel is. Like I feel like there was no suspense because she wasn't going up against anyone that was at her power level. So once the third act came and she got her powers, so I felt indifferent when I was sitting and watching the movie. I just was kind of like, okay. So it wasn't a bad movie. I just I thought it was okay. So that one's at the bottom for me.
Okay.
All right, fair enough. All right.
I hate women.
Yeah, clearly.
So let's just recap real quick. So number 11 was Ant-Man and the Wasp for me. Alex and Rob was Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Dan was Captain Marvel.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, number 10. Thomas, what's number 10?
Number 10 for me, I'd probably say Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying what Dan was saying. I really had to think about my bottom 3 because I couldn't really tell like which order I would put it in because it was kind of tough. But Homecoming, has some good moments in it. I think Far From Home is a better movie than Homecoming based on like a Spider-Man standpoint. But there wasn't too much action in the movie. I do think Tom Holland was good as Spider-Man. I think Michael Keaton was easily the standout of the movie as Vulture. It was nice to see other cast members too, like Donald Glover, Jon Favreau. and things like that. I know the director of the first of the Spider-Man movies, John Watts, did Cop Car with Kevin Bacon.
Good movie. I like that movie.
Don't forget Clown.
But yeah, but compared to like the other MCU Phase 3 movies, this is like one of the more lower ones for me. So that's why Homecoming for me is number 10.
Yeah. All right. My number 10 is Doctor Strange.
Ah, okay.
I mean, like I said before, I didn't really like this movie at all for a while, but watching it again, I liked it a little bit better. I still think it's okay. It's an origin story, but I just think, a lot of times, like with characters, like Doctor Strange was handled better in Infinity War.
Yeah,
It was a lot cooler.
Yeah.
But it was an okay like pilot to like in a way, like okay, it's the Planet of No Seats where the sequel could be better. So
Yeah,
I agree with
still
that.
okay movie. That's all. That's my number 10. Doctor Strange.
Rob.
Number 10 would be Captain Marvel for me.
No, another misogynist.
You know what? Give me credit. Not at the very bottom, but you know what? Like honestly, this is it's hard to decide with all these. Like most of these are actually movies that I think are just, except for Spider-Man: Homecoming, movies that I thought were either good to great. It's like it's so hard. Like I don't know. I thought Captain Marvel was good for what it was. I wasn't expecting much. I just thought a new character. Here's the thing. I think they should have introduced her in another movie first before they did a solo movie. I think that was, and the reason is because I think that's what they did great with Spider-Man. I think they should have her in another movie first. I think maybe people would have appreciated it.
They did that with Spider-Man and Black Panther.
See, another one, Black Panther. So yeah, I just thought the movie was good. It was nothing special. Yeah. I don't think it's as bad as people say, though.
I mean, like they filmed Endgame with her first, and then they did Captain Marvel. So in a way, they kind of did that. They kind of did that, but like,
yeah.
Maybe they should have just like released Captain Marvel after Endgame. Oh. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's your number 10, right?
Yep.
All right. Dan.
So my number 9 and 10, I wasn't really sure, but after talking about stuff tonight, I'm gonna actually put Far From Home as my number 10.
Damn.
Okay.
Why?
Well, for all the reasons we
All right. That's your number 10. Far From Home.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to number 9.
I guess I'm going now.
Yeah.
Number 9. So you figure my number 11 was Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 10 was Homecoming. Number 9, Captain Marvel.
Oh, another massage. Oh, God, you guys are so much on this thing.
Yeah, but like I was, going back to what Rob was saying, it's really difficult to rank 11 movies, because I think the majority of the MCU Phase 3 movies are good. But, compared to like other ones, like when I look at, Endgame and, Infinity War, Infinity War and Civil War and things like that, I think there were just better ones than Captain Marvel. Not to say Captain Marvel was a bad movie at all. It was good, but I still think there were better MCU Phase 3 movies that were much more bigger, much more, much more, I guess you would say, epic than Captain Marvel. Because Captain Marvel really was just a smaller movie, origin story like a Doctor Strange or, things like that. It's just an origin story, for a new character. But I think for the way it was, I think Captain Marvel was fine the way it was. But that's why I would say it was my number 9. So that's what I got to say for Captain Marvel.
Okay.
All right.
My number 9 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
We said in that like small little conversation we had last time. It's a fun movie, but at the end of the day, it's just a filler movie.
Yeah, it's to the side.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, it's fun for what it is, but there's not that much to it.
No, it's kind of filler.
Yeah, like I said, it's fun. So yeah, that's number 9. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
All right,
Yeah, number 9 for me is Doctor Strange.
okay.
I like the movie, and it's a complex kind of film, but I thought they did good for what they did with it. Yeah, I do agree he was portrayed better in Infinity War, but that's different directors doing their thing. I still think I'm still looking forward to Doctor Strange 2, though. I still cannot wait to see what they're gonna do. So
I agree.
All right. Dan.
Okay, so my number 9 would be Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
I guess offhand, and again, this is why I need to watch Far From Home one more time, really. But I think I put Homecoming ahead of that because I like the Vulture. I thought, even though the first half did drag, I did like the rescue attempt at the Washington Monument, and I did like the end scene, even though it was on a plane, which I'm getting sick of.
Yeah.
But I feel like I had more issues with Far From Home just talking last night. That's the only reason right now that I'm putting Homecoming at number 9. I mean, after watching Far From Home again, maybe I will switch those two. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Spider-Man films so far. So number 9, Homecoming.
Okay. Where's your number 9, right? Okay. All right. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay, so I'm just recapping just real quick to keep track. So, no,
You don't have to. I mean, we could just like say it at the end.
well, I'm just for my own personal sake, just that way I'm on track. Ant-Man the Wasp 11, 10 was Homecoming, 9 was Captain Marvel, 8 Doctor Strange.
Right. So I've noticed that we have some of the similar films, which are kind of out of order though.
Yeah, like I said before, I think what Rob was saying, Doctor Strange, and just like with Captain Marvel, it was an origin story. It was a smaller movie, for a new character, not like to the extreme of like a Infinity War or Captain America Civil War, but smaller movie for an origin story character. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I like the other cast members too. I like Rachel McAdams, Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know how you say his name, Chiwetel Ejiofor or something like that. Yeah. I also in Tilda Swinton I thought did fine as well in the movie. Yeah, Doctor Strange, not really one of those films that I watch a whole lot out of MCU Phase 3, but I think it's still a solid entry into the franchise. I know Alex would disagree with that, but I like the movie, and I do look forward to the second one, like Rob did. So,
okay,
all right.
Alex,
my number 8 is Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay.
Better than Homecoming, but still not great. That's all. You've already said everything we did tonight now about Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Rob,
go ahead.
Mine's the same. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was whatever, good film. For what it was.
I'm going to mention this real quick. Captain Marvel was my least favorite in Phase 3. I just want to point this out. I just was thinking about this in my mind. This is the first Marvel film when I bought it on Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet. So that just tells me in my mind that's definitely my least favorite. But I
haven't had a chance to watch it again either, but I've been meaning to watch it.
Typically, when I pick up a new Marvel movie, I'll watch it like within that week. And
I used to do that. Just have less time now. It's the thing.
But my number 8 is Doctor Strange. So yeah, we are all kind of similar. Doctor Strange, I've seen only twice. I saw it in the theater once. I thought it was good. I watched it a second time. I thought it was okay. Mm-hmm. But Doctor Strange is probably my second favorite superhero after Infinity War because he was just so awesome in that movie. So I'm really
the character.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to a sequel, and I feel it wasn't the fault of anything but the story that made that movie just so for me. So.
Right.
Okay.
What's next? Number 7?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
For me, it's Far From Home.
Yeah.
I think Thomas, you had that highest on your list for that film.
Far From Home, yeah. You did.
Yep.
Yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home. I do have it, but like I said, we do have like our lists are kind of similar, but just in different places.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Spider-Man: Far From Home, like I mentioned already before, good movie, but I think it's better than Homecoming. That's why I ranked a little bit much more higher than Homecoming. But easily just like with Homecoming, I think Jake Gyllenhaal, just like Michael Keaton, was a standout. I think the villain was easily the best part of the movie. So
yeah, both these new Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
That's probably easily. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I got to say about that one.
All right, cool. My number 7, Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Wow, it's high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a misogynist.
Yeah, you have the highest on your list for that film.
Female power. No, but overall, it's a good movie. I don't think it's right. But I actually, I liked it better than Far From Home. But yeah, as an origin story, it's good, and I really like the '90s setting. Cool and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I actually disagree with Dan. I thought some of the action scenes were pretty good. It's just like I thought the action scenes were better than the Spider-Man movies, the 2 MCU Spider-Man movies. To be honest, this is my opinion. This is me. But I like Brie Larson as a character. She did good, and look forward to what they do next with her. But they have to for the sequel. They do have to in a way depower her a little bit. They
I
have.
don't even think that. I think they just need to have someone on equal playing field.
Oh yeah, they could do that too. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I have no problem because listen, Superman. I love Superman, but he has villains that are that he can go toe to toe with. I'm sure Captain Marvel does too. So that's what I'm looking. I totally and I liked her in Endgame. So I think they can do a sequel well.
Superman has a lot of villains, but yet we still see Lex Luthor all the time. We'll get into that later on. Okay. Go ahead, drop.
Jesse. We're at number 7.
Yeah, number
Avengers Endgame for me is number 7.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I maybe the lowest on that one. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think I am.
Yeah.
What? Oh, first one. Yeah, first mention.
Because all the ones before that, I don't know. I enjoyed them more. But yeah, Endgame, we've already talked about it. So
So many problems. Too many problems.
So this is number 7 for me. Would be Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really don't have anything.
Highest in that one.
Yeah, I think
actually, I do.
Oh yeah, Rob has not given that one yet. So
Whoops! Spoiler alert.
yeah. So it was a good film. Yeah, not a necessary film, but I enjoyed it. I would pop that in over probably the other films that we mentioned. So that's why it's on there.
Okay, cool. All right, number 6 now.
For me, it's Endgame.
Oh, right.
I guess I wasn't that low.
Yeah, we talked about Endgame enough.
Yeah, we talked about Endgame already. So go ahead, Alex.
All right, my number 6 is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
What?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
I was actually thinking about this.
You don't like How
So,
dare you?
it would have been higher if it had Kat Dennings in it. But it's a fun movie. I like it. It's good. We talked about it 3 months ago. But it's the best of the Thor movies. And oh yeah, and Thor 4 was announced. Taika Waititi is coming back to direct Thor 4.
Funny to think that out of the top 3 guys, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, Thor would be the one with the longest life right now.
Yeah,
I would say he's the least popular of the three, yet he's getting the longest movies.
It's because his first few movies didn't start off that well, and they've gotten better.
Yeah,
That's why.
true.
So yeah,
Right.
Ragnarok was my number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is Black Panther.
Okay.
What?
You don't like black people? Nope, I guess not.
Oh.
Give me that crap.
No, Rob. No, he loves Black Panther.
No, I love it. It's just, I
Yeah.
love the ones on my list. Before that and more. So, Black Panther, yeah, awesome movie.
Okay.
Good.
The True Lion King remake. All
All right.
Dan?
Yeah,
Dan?
my number 6 is Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
I feel like even with the problems it had, when I think about watching that movie, I'm like, oh yeah, I would enjoy watching that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I put that over the other ones.
Okay.
Now we're on number 5.
All right, here we go. Top 5.
Top 5.
Curious to see what he's gonna say. Thomas, number 5.
Number 5. I say Guardians 2.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Why?
I think this was a really fun flick. It was just cool to see. It was cool to see Kurt Russell and Stallone back together on screen again under Tango and Cash. I thought that was just cool to see Kurt Russell and Stallone in the same movie together.
And Michael Rooker.
And
Michael Rooker, yeah, from Cliffhanger. It's just cool to see all three of those guys in the same movie. And I love Baby Groot. And overall, really fun flick. Would I say it's better than the first movie? No, I still think the first movie was a better movie than the second one. But I say it's a fun flick. That's all I got to say. It's a fun movie. It's a fun sequel.
Okay.
Alex,
my number 5 is, I think, I don't know. Do I have this have the highest Avengers Endgame?
Yes,
I think you do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dan and I have already given ours, and I think
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah, he did. That was number 6, right? Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame was 6. Yeah.
Oh, this is my number 5. And I was thinking, like, do I like Thor Ragnarok or Endgame better? I don't know, that ending, that Battle and Endgame was pretty. That put it a little bit over. No, over Ragnarok in my opinion. But yeah, good but not great.
Okay.
Pretty
Rob?
awesome battle,
5 for me would be Ant-Man and the Wasp, and
though.
I love the movie. Like, honestly, for me, it wasn't just filler. For me, they did a lot of things that, like, I love Ghost. I love her. I love the fact that they go in the quantum realm to save Janet. Like, I love all that stuff. And I think Michael Douglas, it seemed like he had a lot more to do in the movie. Lawrence Fishburne. What a traitor. Anyway, go from DC to anyway, no, I enjoyed the second Ant-Man. Like, I found it just as, I wouldn't say it's better than the first, but I found it just a lot more entertaining in ways. I don't know. I liked it.
Dan?
All right. My number 5 is Black Panther.
Okay.
Pretty, I don't really have much to say other than it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I thought the villain was one of the best villains that they had created. It's a unique movie, and that's why it's number 5.
Okay.
Adonis was cool.
Oh yeah, you see that he acts always the same. We'll see. Now that you mentioned that, like, before, like whenever his next movie comes out, whatever he does, I'm gonna study and see, does he really act the same? Like Rob said, I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Michael B. Jordan's future.
He's a hothead. That's just all it is.
Sure.
It would be
Sicko man.
I mean, he had a bad family life in Black Panther, and he had a bad family life in Creed. So.
And Fantastic Four. Don't forget that.
Oh man, I don't. Yeah. Well,
He was in that. Remember that movie?
no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Number 4. Thomas.
Black Panther.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Um,
Alex, have you said that one yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Black Panther for me is number 4. I just think, that cast alone, just seeing people like, Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. You had Michael B. Jordan playing a great villain. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. You have people like Forrest Whitaker, Andy Serkis, I think Angela Bassett as well.
Yeah, she was the mom.
Yeah, Angela Bassett. It was just it's kind of weird seeing Angela Bassett go from Critters 4 to Black Panther.
Oh my God, Critters! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Critters 4. Oh man.
Brad Dourif was in Critters 4 as well. Remember?
Yeah, her and Brad Dourif together. It's kind of it's a combination. Yeah, but Black Panther I thought was good. I think easily, Chadwick Boseman was great as Black Panther, but I think Michael B. Jordan stole the show because he was a great villain. And overall, good movie overall. So I got to say Black Panther is my number 4.
My number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay.
All right.
To me, it's almost as good as the first one. Not quite, but it's pretty close to the same level. And everybody did good. And it was a lot of fun. Good story, good villain. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
All right.
And, they're getting James Gunn back to do part 3. I'm looking forward to how that goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my number 4.
Rob?
Okay. Number 4, Guardians 2, same.
Okay.
All right.
I actually you're gonna be shocked. I actually like the second one more. I love the Ego storyline, and I felt like Star-Lord finally, got a concept of who his dad is, and the technology. They made Kurt Russell young in the beginning. That was so cool.
Yeah.
The de-aging technology. I don't know. I felt like all the characters had more. It seems like more to do, because in the first movie, when they were stuck in that whole prison thing, the movie kind of slowed down in a lot of ways. I felt like in this one, there was more going on. Like you had Rocket in the ship with what's his Yondu. And then you had this going on the planet, and there was just so much going on. I felt like it was more entertaining. So I don't know. I think it's better than the first in a lot of ways.
Okay. Dan?
Well, let's make this 3 for 4.
Oh,
Guardians 2.
Wow.
So all 3 of us had Guardians as 4th, but Thomas.
Except for Philly boy, yeah.
All the reasons you guys have already stated.
All right.
But you like it as much as one?
I do prefer the first.
Okay.
I like the first. All the reasons but one. All the reasons but one.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. Okay, now going on to number 3.
Top 3.
Thor Ragnarok.
What? Okay.
Because Thor Ragnarok was just a blast to watch. It was a really entertaining ride. It was just, it was cool. And, Thor, it's just cool to see Thor and Hulk together. Kate Blanchett was great as Hela, a great villain, really entertaining villain. It was a really colorful movie, really, really big and colorful movie. I love the way that it was shot, and the best way I can summarize it was just a blast to watch. It was a really fun flick, and it's easily the best of the 3 Thor movies.
Oh yeah, easily.
So that's why it's my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is Avengers: Infinity War.
Ah, okay.
I mean,
wow. I'm really interested to see what which one I'm not. I know which one you're gonna mention in the 1 or 2, but I don't know what you're gonna put in the other spot. So
Okay.
I know what you're going to put for number 1.
I mean, I kind of already like gave it away when we're doing the other Phase 3 movies. But yeah, it's a good movie. I really liked it. It's one of the best overall in the whole MCU. Good. The number 1, my number 1, number 2 are. And man, I just wish Endgame was a little bit better because but it wasn't the same level as this one. Yeah, you guys had mentioned earlier how the pacing in this movie was a lot better. Like you go from like action scene to like like some exposition dialogue, and then you get some rest, and then it moves really quick.
Yeah.
But all these characters, like the Russos, it's hard as hell to do a good movie with all these characters, and they did the best job anyone could ever do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, the thing that in their advantage was all these characters were already established, except for Thanos.
Yep.
Even Thanos was a little bit established before this movie, so.
Guardian,
Yeah. Infinity War, my number 3. Awesome movie.
Okay.
All right, Rob?
3 would be Thor Ragnarok.
All right.
I love, like everything Thomas said, like the movie is funny, a new direction for Thor, very colorful film. I like every single character, even Tessa Thompson I like. I just overall, yeah, it made Thor out to be, it's something different. I mean, I always mention this. Chris Hemsworth even said he was glad they went in this direction because he was even thinking of leaving the character because it was going nowhere. So I'm kind of glad that they did this and he stuck around because there's only one Thor, just like there's only one Captain America. So
exactly.
So yep.
All right.
Dan?
All right. Well, Alex, your number 3 is wrong because it's obviously Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
as the 3 of us said Thor 3.
Wow.
But yeah, Thor Ragnarok is my 3rd. Just same reasons everyone else said. So
maybe I'm in the right. Maybe I'm the right one. You guys are wrong.
Could be.
Oh, you guys had Captain Marvel so low because you're all a bunch of misogynists. Well, that's cool. Thor Ragnarok, huh?
it is cool, right?
Yeah, but Hulk is a big baby.
He was
stupid.
He was kind of big.
How's number 3? All right, cool. Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2, Captain America: Civil War.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, Captain America: Civil War is number 2. Yeah, this was a film that I thoroughly enjoyed. I do think out of the nothing much more can be said about Captain America: Civil War. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a great movie. I do think Spider-Man is portrayed the best way out of the Spider-Man movies. I think Spider-Man in this one is better than his solo movies.
Yes.
Because I think the way Tom Holland portrays Spider-Man in Civil War was the best even out of the 2 solo films. I think this is the best Spider-Man portrayed by Tom Holland. It's just great to see characters like Ant-Man and Black Widow and all them guys all together fighting off against one another. And overall, I mean, Civil War, what more can I say about Civil War that hasn't been said before? It's epic.
Yeah, check out our Phase 3 show.
Yeah.
6. Yeah, we talk about Civil War. All right. Number 2. My number 2 is the Lion King remake, Black Panther.
Okay, that's the one. So,
yeah, you guessed it right, didn't you? Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Like you guys said before, great cast, great villain, one of the best, Michael B. Jordan, my boy, Michael B. Jordan. And it's gonna be interesting how the sequel goes. Don't be hating on Michael B. Jordan.
No one is. Just Adonis. He's a He's a crybaby.
Adonis is awesome. But
Yeah, his dad
really,
died.
really good ass movie, well made, and yeah, it's my number 2, Black Panther.
What do you think of the Creed movies?
I like them. I like them a lot. They're good.
All right. Number 2 for me, Civil War.
All right.
Same as Thomas.
Excellent film. Like, we've already talked about it, but I just want to say, like, story-driven wise, like, it from both sides, I just love how you can be Iron Man side and Cap side and still have sympathy for both. Like, it's like I was never one-sided. I love how they bring up points here and then here, and it's like it was a genius way of storytelling. I don't know. I love it. So
Dan.
3 for 4, Civil War. Number 2.
oh,
Right.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, what else can we say? It's a great film.
Yeah,
I-
it is.
What's that?
It is.
Oh,
It really is. Great movie.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
So now we're going to our number 1s. I already guess what they are for everybody. Yeah. Elimination, you know.
Number
Yeah.
1, you guys already know what it is. It's Infinity War.
I know. Yes.
Infinity War is my number 1. Pretty much what Alex said before. You know, it was better paced than Endgame. It was much more faster. Didn't really be sluggish in some areas. Unlike Endgame, I thought it was better paced than Endgame, like Alex said. And there was more to the movie, things like that. And overall, I think Infinity War is my favorite Phase 3 movie of the MCU.
nice.
Alex?
My number 1 is Captain America: Civil War.
Okay.
That's a good number.
Rob said,
Good
So-
choice.
yeah, the two sides. You're not on one side by the end of the movie. Right? You see both points, and they both Tony Stark and Steve Rogers make good points against each side. Yeah. So again, just like with Infinity War, what this has less characters. Russo did an awesome job handling all these characters into one big movie, and yeah, and they did well with all these. They did well with handling all these characters, much better than they did in Endgame. And you know what's funny? Thor and Hulk are not in this movie, and you can see now when you get to Endgame, you can see why. Maybe they don't like him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting point.
Yeah, but yeah, it's my number 1, and yeah, and Thomas said this already. Yeah, the portrayal of Spider-Man in this movie is the best so far in the MCU. Much better than solo movies. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's one for me, basically.
For me, it's Infinity War, obviously. I will say this: no other movie before this has ever shocked me the way Infinity War did. Like, as far as shock value, like,
The ending.
well, that, and there's this other thing, like the storytelling itself with Thanos, you know, being as powerful as he is. I felt the most intimidated by him on screen. No other villain did that for me. If I look back at all these movies coming before it, I never felt that way. And when I saw Thanos, I'm like, holy shit, we're dealing with something here. Like, he is, you know, oh my god. And then when, you know, the snap, I mean, this probably goes across the board. Everyone says, oh my god, it was so shocking. I cried. I was mad and all this stuff. So many emotions. That's what that movie did. And I think that's a great milestone in history of superhero films. No other film can replicate that. It's just, you know, it was done so
Well,
well.
you could argue with Logan.
Logan did have shocking moments, but
Because he actually did die.
well, yeah, I guess they had balls for doing that.
Yeah.
Logan was good, but nothing shocked me as much as that, though.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Let me guess. Dan's number 1 is Infinity War as well.
Not only that, but it is my favorite Marvel.
Sorry,
film.
I don't mean to steal the spotlight from you.
Oh no, that's fine. But it's my favorite of the entire MCU phases. Definitely Infinity War. Look, it's a near perfect movie in my opinion. And for all the reasons everyone's already said. I mean, Thanos is probably the most well-developed villain in all the Marvel films. Not just the action set pieces, but the way the action scenes are choreographed. I swear it was like written down on paper. Like every little, like in my mind when I'm thinking about an action scene, I can walk through and be like, wow, cool, this was cool, this was cool, this was cool. Every little thing they did was great. The pacing was fantastic. They handled characters that had already had solo films better than the solo films did. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. Yeah, the emotional side of it. The surprises, everything was just great. I just remember reading the film and being like, that was just amazing. And I still, to this day, when I pop that movie in, I'm like, this is a great, this is the one. So there you have it.
All right.
Well,
Yeah. That's the end of Phase 3.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. It's over. We're done with Marvel. No Marvel till next year.
yeah. Does anybody know if the Phase 4 has been leaked yet?
No, I mean, they
Comic
said
Con
that,
is going on.
I know,
It was
but
released today or tonight. It was not released at like right before we got on. It still hadn't been officially released, but it was supposed to happen.
I mean, like Black Widows. That's the next movie, right?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
They're filming it already, so it's like that's kind
I'll
of.
tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Phase 4. These are the films that are in the Phase 4 universe. Black Widow. This is all going in order.
Yeah.
Black Widow, The Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Doctor Strange 2.
Wait, so you got the list?
Wait,
Yeah.
is this official?
It's on the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm reading them off, and they all go in order because, like, all the phases that we've done before, we've gone in order from the movies.
Yeah.
So these are all from top to bottom in order. Black Widow, The Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, Blade, Black Panther 2.
Wait,
Yeah.
Blade?
Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2, and Fantastic Four.
Oh, right. Fantastic Four.
Oh, so these are like stuff like some of them have been announced officially. Some of them are kind of in development. Like Blade's not official yet, but it seems they are planning some of them, which is cool.
It looks like they're planning on doing it. Yeah.
I'm surprised Black Panther 2 is so high on that list.
They already casted Blade.
No, they haven't.
I thought they were going to get what's his name from Star Wars to play him?
Lando?
John Boyega.
No,
That's what I heard.
Then I can't stop.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, no, it looks like it's going to be Mahershala Ali, who voiced Prowler in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
Do we end this podcast since we're done with Phase 3?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
All right. Hope everybody enjoyed our long discussion of Endgame and Far From Home. More like bitching Endgame.
The bitches.
Yeah. But yeah,
I really like these two movies.
Phase 3.
Oh, man.
I'll just say, you know what? I'll say this off here. I don't even want to get into DC yet. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed our Phase 3 discussions, all Marvel discussions. Check them out.
Sorry it took a while, but we've gone through some stuff that kind of prevented us from getting on here. So
Personal stuff, work, time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're done with Marvel.
All right.
I'm on Marvel.
All right.
Next year. All right. Done. All right. All right. Say goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Yep.
Adios.
Good night.